Yo, everyone, what's up? Welcome to FSP. This is episode number, oh my God, I don't even know. It's been so long. We are
87.
Is it 87? Wow.
That's what you have on the YouTube video.
Yeah, that's gotta
unless
be,
that's wrong.
it's gotta be right then. This is our first show of the year and our first show on the channel in over a week. I had come to realize something, guys, that this has been the longest stretch since I've started the channel without a show.
Yeah, it felt weird.
Over 3 years. And it's only been since like Thursday before New Year's. So you're talking about like what, 9 days or 10 days or something like that? And that's the longest stretch, but it feels like 3 months, bro. Like, it really does. I feel like I've been gone for an entire quarter. I don't know what's going on with gaming or anything. Like, I've been kind of like out of touch with social media, like with Twitter a little bit. I haven't been going on there as much. And every time I go, I see a lot of overreaction about stuff and like just people freaking out about rumors and things. It's like, okay, this is interesting news, I guess, if it's news, but we'll have to wait and see what the rumors are, like if they come true. But we're going to talk a lot about that stuff because it's what everybody's talking about. And I know that some of you may feel differently than I do. So it's going to be interesting to have some of that discourse on here as well. But first off, it's good to see you guys, man. In chat too. Like, holy cow, it's been a while. People are asking if I was still alive, and it's only been like 9 days. Yes, I'm here. You guys rock. Thank you all for tuning into FSP, and we're looking forward to having an awesome show. And joining us on the panel right now is the one and only 3-Bit. What's up, dude? How are you doing?
Doing pretty good, man. I've been gearing up for my first commercial as an art director. I've done a lot of commercials, but this is the first one I'm credited as an art director this week. So we did all the casting, like doing the whole process has been interesting for commercials because I've dove in the gaming industry, right? And then now I'm in the commercial industry. And seeing audition tapes and figuring out what people are wearing and stuff like that. Like a lot of that, I don't know, I never had to really do. So it's been kind of fun figuring it out. It's been a lot of work. But I've managed to get some gaming in, surprisingly, past few weeks. I've played Resident Evil quite a bit. I thought I was almost done, and I looked online and like, no, there's 16 chapters, so I don't even think I'm halfway yet. It felt like that after this boss. But been playing a little bit of that, but mostly Avatar. That game is feeling really repetitive. So my goal for Avatar is just to get to the flying beast thing, and then once I could fly, and I'm probably gonna stop playing that game. It's just too much. What else I've been playing? I've been jumping around, man. Just jumping into Game Pass, play a little bit of Hi-Fi, Halo. I got my dad a Series X, so we've been playing Halo whenever I go over, and he loves ODST, so we literally only play that. So yeah, it's been good gaming week, good work week, and excited to be back on the show.
Yeah, man. It feels like some of you guys haven't talked to him forever. Also, like, it's just weird. But again, it's only been like 10 days. So,
yeah.
So when you talk, what it is we talk literally for like years every day. You know what I mean? Like every day, like numerous times every single day for like 3 years. So if you go like a week without talking to somebody too much or whatever, it's like, are we okay? Are we still friends? Like, I miss you, man. Like, what happened? Where did we stray? Like,
because a lot of people don't know like some of the stuff we always talk about even before the shows. Like a lot of people don't know our chats and stuff like that. Where we're always posting like gaming news and talking about that. Or
I was about to go live over the weekend because I was like, I haven't talked about any of this shit for like weeks. I was like, I bet you about the damn show.
Yeah, I started jumping on other people's shows. I'm like, oh, hi. It's been fun. But definitely been missing this show for sure.
Yeah, right on, man. Thanks for being here, 3-Bit. Fuzzy Belvedere, how are you doing, sir? I've seen you on lots of podcasts, actually. You didn't take no breaks.
Yeah, nah, I've just been, talking about gaming and just having fun. For the most part, trying to avoid Twitter because it just seems like it's a big prank at this point. But other than that, just been playing a good bit of Undisputed. Got all the cars for last week and a couple of days for Forza Horizon 5. Still playing Motorsport and GT7. I really need to start playing more of 6 Days in Fallujah. Other than that, played a bit of Hades because I bought that on Steam, so I have that natively on my Steam Deck. Same thing with Vampire Survivor. I even bought Sifu for my Steam Deck, so having fun with that. But yeah, just craziness on the app formerly known as Twitter, which I'm pretty sure we're going to get into it. But glad to be here with you guys. Yeah, this is going to be a good one.
Yeah, right on, man. It's been crazy on Twitter the last couple days. I haven't tweeted much or like said anything too much about it. But like this just rumors galore have been absolutely bananas. Jasper, how are you doing, man?
Pretty good, I guess. I've been just kind of jumping around on everything. I've been playing Flight Sim. I just bought Greedfall the other day because it was on sale for like $11, so checking that
Yeah.
out.
You didn't join me and Psycho on Halo.
Yeah, I was playing the
You're
finals, and you
freaking
didn't even
fine.
play Halo either because you had to download it.
No, I played it eventually.
That's like
I can't believe that happened. No.
that's typical.
That was the most
3-bit,
3-bit thing. I know.
It's
That,
like, hey,
like
yo,
even
you
that.
guys want to play a game? Okay. Oh yeah, y'all are all on, ready to play. Oh yeah. Hold on, let me install it.
Now,
Oh
get this.
shit,
Get-
it's
it wasn't
150 gigabytes. Oh my god, I'll be there in like
It wasn't
2
even
hours.
just he didn't download it. First, he's like, I'm going to play it on my PC. So he's like, I'm going to download it on my PC. He downloaded 50 gigs of it. And he's like, you know what? I'm going to go play it on my Xbox instead of downloading it.
So
He goes to his Xbox. It's not even downloaded there. So he goes
Oh
back
my
up to his
God.
PC.
and then by the time
Oh,
it's done downloading, he hops on and he falls asleep after the first
Yeah.
match.
Yeah, I played like 2
Yeah.
matches with Psycho, and I was like, I'm tired.
Really? That doesn't surprise me whatsoever.
At least we played. We played like 2 matches, and I was like, you know what, Psycho, I'm feeling kind of tired.
Oh my
Oh
gosh.
my gosh.
How
Yeah,
does
that was a 3-bit thing. I don't know.
how does your girl put up with this stuff 3-bit? Like I don't understand.
She's
Yeah.
used to it. She's used to it.
Oh shit. All right, so we'll just dive into this these rumors. I mean, real quick, actually, first, shout out to Leroy Jenkins, who became a speculator. What's up? Thanks, Leroy Jenkins, for joining the channel. Choo choo, motherfucker. That's in the words of Pong Soul. All you guys matter. And you don't have to be a member to matter here. That's one thing for damn sure, right? We have a lot of members on this channel, but because of the last month with all you guys going fucking crazy, gifting all these memberships and the told choo-choo motherfucker train and all that stuff going on, it was absolutely insane. Well, let me tell you something. If you are not a member and you just stop by and you just like, hey, I want to see what this channel's all about. And they say, oh, this channel sucks. I'm gone. You still matter, motherfuckers. You all still matter. It doesn't matter if you're a member. You can all join the Discord. I don't give a shit. If you want to come and talk shit to us, I don't care. You all matter. That guy is a piece of shit who said that. Ridiculous stuff. But anyway.
What you forgot to say, Mav, is you'll matter more in our subscribers stream, our exclusive VIP.
Yeah.
So which is weird is like in that
Come
comment
to the Velvet
in that
Room.
video, he's like, I made it the lowest possible price, but the lowest possible price is like 99 cents on
I know.
YouTube. It's not like $6.99 or whatever the fuck he said it
That
at.
was
Yeah,
even
he
a
upped the
different-
price.
That was even a different video. Yeah. It was
Inflation or whatever. Like he
gifted's cost.
when I was like watching
more.
some clips of his, I was like, wow, Pong actually does a very good
Yeah,
impression.
he does.
When
He
I
does
like
great.
went back to it, I was like, wow, actually Pong's very accurate with everything. But anyways,
Oh,
I
Bold
digress.
Alpha Wolfpack joining the speculators as well. Appreciate you, Bold Alpha. You're absolutely amazing.
Amen.
And you mattered before, and you still matter now. Also, you all matter. You matter.
Yeah.
E ranks. Yes, you fucking matter, man. All right. You know what some people are afraid that they don't matter anymore to Xbox.
That's a good segue.
That's a great segue. Some people are afraid that they don't matter anymore to Xbox. They're afraid that they think Xbox feels like, you know what, PlayStation matters, Nintendo matters, but not the poor old Xbox gamer who's been suffering all these years, going through the Xbox One dark times, waiting for things to turn around. Now they get ABK. And just when they think all the eating's getting good, they're like, no, we're just going to put our games on the fucking Nintendo and PlayStation. And that's what people are feeling right now. I know you feel that way, 3-bit. You got a little bit of pettiness in you, right?
I do. Yeah.
So there's rumors that have been swirling right now regarding mainly 2 games, but also like just in general a feeling of a change of direction in Xbox's strategy after the ABK acquisition. And that was to say that they may be putting some more of their there's some of their older titles or some other different titles on Nintendo, and oh my god, maybe even PlayStation, depending on the game, right? And so there's been a lot of talk about this the last couple days going on X and Twitter and all that kind of stuff. I haven't really said much about it, honestly, because I don't care. That's number one. I honestly don't care, but I do know that is something that I feel like a lot of people do care about, so it's worth talking about for sure. And the one of the games was Hi-Fi Rush going to Switch. That would be a possibility. And that started from Nate the Hate, I think is the name on Twitter, and they've gotten things right before. So, and I don't even know if they directly named this game. That it was kind of a reference.
They
rumor.
just said that.
And then
Arcane game.
I saw Insider Gaming as well made a tweet that mentioned Hi-Fi Rush. So that was one game, and then after that, there was a discussion that I saw with Jeff Grubb, and Jeff Grubb gets a lot of things right. He's gotten a couple things wrong in the past before as well. I mean, not to say that he's wrong on purpose. Sometimes plans may change and stuff like that, but alluding to the fact that they may be potentially looking at putting Sea of Thieves on Nintendo and PlayStation as well. So that's led to a lot of discourse. Xbox fanboys and Xbox fans some are a little upset, thinking that what's going on here. And ultimately, it's an interesting thing. But I want to get y'all's takes on it. First off, 3-bit, like, what would that mean to you? Like, how would you feel if Sea of Thieves is on PlayStation or Hi-Fi Rush is on Switch? Does one of them bother you more than the other? First off, I know
here's the thing.
I think. Which one bothers you more? Be honest, 3-bit.
Well, okay. Let me take it from this approach, right? Because me and Pong was talking about this in our DMs and stuff. There's the balanced side of 3-bit, the fair 3-bit, the judge 3-bit, who can look at things from a landscape and like, yes, this is fine. This doesn't really affect me per se. If Hi-Fi Rush or Sea of Thieves goes on PlayStation, how does that affect? I don't even play on PlayStation, right? That's the balance side. That's the nice 3-bit, right?
If you're the judge, then you should think that Nintendo's the superior platform because you can take it anywhere.
I can't believe she was saying that. It was like, you can take it anywhere. That's the superior platform, right? So that's the nice side of me. The other side of me, what I was talking about, if I was talking to Pong and I was saying, if I was the head of Xbox, and as of this moment of this stream, PlayStation is trying to literally stop ABK while they are while we are also starting to port games to PlayStation. Like, I would be the most pettiest person in the world if I was Phil. Like, I have ABK, the year is starting to go good, and all these different things. So I don't know. I look at it from different lenses, and I think when I was looking in inwards with myself. I was finding out that it's some Xbox PTSD thing going on with when like the different scenarios where Xbox always does very well and then something crashes right after they do well. It's that's where it's initially coming from. That's why people are responding the way they are. Because it always comes in like when Xbox gets some momentum, there's always some weird thing that happens as they're doing well. I don't know why this happens every single time, but it's about that time. And it's weird. Around the same time, right before the Dev Direct, there was also some other controversy right before the Dev Direct and stuff like that. This doesn't affect me, but it does upset me in terms of Xbox's messaging. Now, to be fair, Xbox didn't do anything. They're just chilling. They look on Twitter like, what the heck? They're seeing all these rumors and stuff like that. They didn't do anything per se. All of this, you take into account that these are just rumors, right? In fact, when Nate the Hate first posted his thing, like there's a game of the year in contender, me and Jasper was talking about who it could be and stuff like that.
He was like in the year that this game came out, which was like literally last year. So like
well, he never said hi-fi. That's the thing.
Right.
People just assumed it was hi-fi.
People assumed it was hi-fi.
Insider Gaming's tweet mentioned hi-fi, and I don't know if they just took that as.
That's because I think the community in general was assuming it was hi-fi, so I think they just kind of ran with the hi-fi thing. But
okay. So what if it wasn't hi-fi, do we have any other candidates that it could be? Like the only
now it turned from one game. That's where the Twitter is even blowing up anymore, because before it was just Hi-Fi Rush on the Switch. Then they're like, actually no, it's they canceled the Switch version and they're putting it on PlayStation only. And then they're like, oh, but also Jeff Grubb added to the fuel and was like, but also Sea of Thieves is also a part of that conversation. They're also going to port Sea of Thieves. And then
did he say that Xbox was doing it, or did he say that Xbox game?
Nate the Hate, or whatever his name is, said that it's a Game of the Year contender. It's an Xbox first party. That's the only information we knew from his rumor thing.
Like, just throwing this out there, would there be a possibility that game could be Sunset Overdrive?
It's owned by PlayStation though. No.
Right, but it released as an Xbox first party game when it came out, right? Like, and it was a Game of the Year
contender. Isn't it still somewhat?
Game.
It was, but
I'm just throwing it out there. I'm just hypothetically, because that would be a candidate. Like, they own them now, so maybe like they would be like, okay, let's put this.
But I think it's Xbox. I think like what people were thinking
that's
is
why
that it's Xbox doing it.
Right. That's why I was asking that question, because I was kind of look. Admittedly, like when all this stuff was going down, I was like just kind of looking at it, rolling my eyes. So because it wasn't like that big of a deal to me. If like, oh no, oh my god, like that's how bad.
To me, where I get my frustration from is like people literally just got I'll say like Xbox just got Hi-Fi Rush as an exclusive, then all of a sudden it's going on other platforms. And where my frustration really comes from is the other platforms and how they are so stringent upon their IP, and they would never share that stuff with Xbox. So that relationship where Microsoft is helping Nintendo, like putting Banjo-Kazooie in Smash Bros, or doing stuff with like Sony literally had to be dragged out of the get in there to have MLB The Show up here on Xbox. So that's where
they gave him GoldenEye back.
Barely. Barely.
No multiplayer.
I get that. I get
they made it worse.
I get that sentiment. You know what I mean? Like, okay,
that's where it kind of comes from. It doesn't affect me per se. But when we're talking about like things we're passionate about, things we speculate on, like of course I'm passionate about the industry itself and where it's kind of headed. And so when I get frustrated with Xbox or something like that, a lot of the stuff Xbox does in the short term doesn't really affect me because of the stuff I play, the things I play with you guys and stuff. But I still get frustrated with Xbox's like messaging sometimes. And again, they didn't really do anything. A lot of these are rumors, a lot of these aren't confirmed, but it does go into the frustration where where Phil Spencer said himself, he was basically saying, I get tired of the fact that people always ask if this game is going to another platform. He said that in some interview. He's like, I'm tired. I hate the messaging that people always think like this game's going to another platform.
Yes, but people also, I've seen that, but people are also not sharing other comments that he made, like saying that they would pick and choose different games,
the case by
on a case by case basis, like which literally, just to be fair on this, sounds exactly like what they are kind of potentially doing and going forward, and which is no different than really what they've already been doing, which was kind of my argument.
I think the point that I think it was Nate the Hate that also said this. He was like, this game is no longer like, it's not bringing anyone to Xbox anymore. It's already been out forever. So like, if they put it on another platform, the sequel could drive people back to Xbox whenever they release that in a few years.
Right.
That's
That's fair.
Yeah, I think another point I was making is really about the perception, right? So argument I've been making over the years is Xbox doesn't really necessarily need to go to other platforms because of the fact that the console base is the smallest base out of all other gaming ecosystems. When you compare it to PC, when you compare it to mobile, do they really need these users? It'd be nice, yes, of course you get a lot of money of people who go PlayStation and Switch, but at the end of the day, what for a while we were like, they don't really need to put their games on other platforms. That was like a messaging point for a while, and it's true. Like consoles are like a smaller base.
And see, I think that's the problem a lot of people still have now is they see Xbox brand as the console itself, but they forget that Xbox is trying to be more than just a console. It's trying to be a brand that's on multiple platforms, and to do that, you have to put your games on more places,
which they already do.
Yeah.
Right.
And people just keep looking at them as it's a plastic box, and
and
you gotta kind of step back from that.
I think ultimately at the root of why people are upset, like, is because of that, like Xbox, PlayStation, Nintendo, right? You have your pride in the ecosystem. That's your preferred place to play, the place that you've developed, you own 500 games plus in, or whatever. You own multiple devices of, and you've gone to war and shit talked PlayStation and Nintendo online for years to make sure everybody knows how much you love it, right? And when they take one of your trophies away, right? Well, hey, remember Hi-Fi Rush? They remember that one came out, it was a 9, right? Now people are gonna be like, oh,
but do you think
we got that too now, right? So that at the heart of it, that's why people are upset.
Yeah,
it has nothing to do with it actually affecting anything and their ability to play games on an Xbox, right? Like,
yeah, which is what I said. To be fair, I said, like, yes, a lot of this won't affect me. I'm just passionate about where the market is going, Xbox and stuff like that.
And
I do want to drive
this question real quick to you, 3-Bit. Why, when you play on an Xbox console, what is the number one reason why you play on an Xbox console?
For me, it's always been like I love the ecosystem. Like if you think about Sony and PlayStation 3 didn't even have party chat. I think people forget that. Like the online
isn't that everyone's
services,
like reason here is like because party chat and it's easier to connect with people.
The whole
it's easier, honestly. Yes,
more connected and better, right? Like online,
it's,
right?
Yeah, it's easier to play with your friends and stuff. And like the Switch, if I wanted to play with friends, it's like so hard to do any sort of party. You basically can't.
People on the Switch.
I go on Xbox to play with people on the Switch, or I go on Discord and stuff. It's just like it introduced me very early on to the Xbox ecosystem. I love Game Pass. I love how the value of Game Pass is the best in gaming, and that's true to me. And it has more multiplayer type games, which I love playing. The deals are good. All this different stuff brings me into the Xbox ecosystem. So for the most part, I feel like if I were to say like what brought me into the Xbox, is also some exclusives, which I was going to actually ask you, do you think exclusives are important? Because things like Halo, if Halo didn't exist on Xbox, I would not be on Xbox. That's my thing. Because at the time I was mostly on Nintendo. I was on the PlayStation for a bit, but once I played the Halo demo. I remember it as if it was yesterday. I played the Halo demo on this exhibition disc. It came with a bunch of games, and Halo was the very last game on that disc. And I played it, and ever since I played it, I was like, I love this game, and I've been invested in the Xbox ecosystem ever since. So to me, exclusives are important in that aspect where I can't experience Halo on PlayStation or anything like that. I don't like the PC per se, unless I don't feel like going downstairs like I was playing with Psycho and stuff the other day. Don't really like playing on the PC. I'm a console person. So to me, like exclusives was introduced to. Now, modern day 3-bit, I have all the consoles. If I wanted to play Spider-Man 2, I can play Spider-Man 2. I could play on all my devices, but I still prefer playing on one platform, and that's the Xbox. So I was actually going to open it to you guys because math. With that being said, do you think exclusives are important at all, or you think is like it doesn't really affect you at the end of the day? Which I don't think it does, but in a way, it did introduce me. To be fair, I think exclusives are important because it can introduce you to certain things and get you into an ecosystem.
You said it introduced you, but like Halo wasn't your first game you ever played on Xbox, was it?
No, but that's what I was saying. I played all these other demos on the disc. Halo was the very last game, and I was like, oh, I'll try it. And then I ended up being in love because I was like jumping systems and stuff like that. I got it for my birthday when I was like 8 or something like that. I've been playing Halo since I was 8. And then but at the time I was like okay about the Xbox, but until I played Halo, I was like, dang.
Because I remember renting Halo from Blockbuster. Like I rented like a dozen other games before I ever picked it. I was like, I've already played everything else at Blockbuster. Might as well fucking try Halo.
Hey, that's
like, what is this Halo thing?
Halo was the first Xbox game I played because I didn't own an Xbox when I played Halo. Like my friends brought it over, right? And it was the first game we played, and I was like, "Holy shit, I got to get an Xbox!" Like, and that's what sold me on Xbox right away. You know, I kept hearing people talk about it, like, and in a sense, and that's what, like, if you're talking about ecosystems, right? Like, yeah, exclusives matter, right? But I think Microsoft still feels that way too, which has been the like people are kind of missing that on this whole topic. It's like they're looking at this as like as a whole shift, like from the whole thing. Oh, they're going multi-plat. Oh, like nothing matters. We don't matter to them anymore. No, we're talking about like certain kinds of games and certain kinds of titles that make sense for them to do in other places at times, which is something that they've already been doing for a while. And like, and if you look at it in this regard, like they've already conceded the console race, right? Like Phil
said it publicly.
Phil Spencer has said it publicly, right? So when they're selling consoles now, yeah, they're selling to some new gamers, but majority of the time that they're selling these consoles now, they're selling them to people that are already gamers that are owning consoles and buying new consoles, like, again, and a lot of people that are invested in the Xbox ecosystem and have these libraries and stuff. And like, that's why I was asking about like, what is it about a console that makes you choose to play on Xbox, right? Because if you could play Halo on PlayStation, right? Would you choose all of a sudden to play on PlayStation and play Halo on PlayStation?
I wanted to get list. I hacked.
Wouldn't. You know what I mean?
I got hacked during that big hack thing where Sony's security. So no, like ever since then, Sony's security. First off, it sucks. Like, how many times have they gotten hacked? My information got leaked. Insomniac's information got leaked. I feel like every year or something, there's a big hack from Sony, and then the media is like, "Well, that was unfortunate." For me, I'm like, no.
See, if you asked me if I would play Halo on the Switch, though, I would say yes, but not the multiplayer, just the campaigns.
God, that would be horrible.
I say not the multiplayer, just the campaigns.
Right, that's fine. But like, for each whoever, like whatever, you know what I mean? Like, for me, like I still my main console, no matter what. If the games were everywhere, like let's say that every Nintendo game came out on every device, right? Every Xbox game came out on every device. Every PlayStation game came out on every device. So like no matter which, I would still choose the Xbox hardware.
Yeah.
Because I prefer
Switch is the second option, like when you're traveling.
Yeah.
Like Halo's like your just go-to game on the Switch at that point. It's not going to be like my main place I want to play, but
So,
like, I would play it there.
The reason I'm bringing that up is because I think at the heart of everybody's concern, right? The deep downness of like worry is that Xbox would get out of the console space. They would just say, okay, we're just going to release our games on PlayStation and Nintendo and PC, right? And stop wasting money on hardware. But that's not happening, right? That's not happening. We already know that's not happening. You know, like from inside documents, all these other things, like even more new leaks came out recently about that stuff with their architecture for the next consoles, all this kind of stuff. That's not happening. And if that's not happening, I don't care. That ultimately, if you decide to put a Sea of Thieves on a different place, or if you decide to put a Hi-Fi Rush somewhere, right? And at the end of the day, do they see that, okay, certain games are going to be matter to be exclusive? Yeah, and they've come out and said that as well. So, like, for me, it's like, really nothing's changed too much, except for the way that this rumor was presented as in this like
and
industry changing thing, or this Microsoft changing thing, and this big like the way it's worded, like game of the year contender potentially going to the Switch, right? Even the way that's worded is meant to stoke people into being like, well, oh no, our game of the year contenders are going somewhere else now, right? When literally this happened before with Ori, the same situation, and it was celebrated. Ori was, the IP was owned by Microsoft. It was published by Microsoft. They funded the development of the game, and they allowed them to put it on Switch. And when they did that, it was celebrated from people in the Xbox community as well, being like, that's awesome that people on the Switch get to play Ori. But now all of a sudden, Hi-Fi Rush is a different situation.
Even if you look at
I didn't celebrate it.
I didn't
and it's
care.
a different it's a different studio. It's not a first party studio. So it's, to me, it's though it's owned by Microsoft, it's a different scenario.
Okay, so let's say they decided to put Flight Simulator on Switch.
Jesus Christ.
I'm just saying. That's a Sobo. It's not a first party studio.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, I have a hypothetical question.
I would honestly say Microsoft Flight Sim is a better fit for PlayStation and Switch and Xbox, like all together as a multi-platform game, than like just about any other contender, because Flight Sim in the past has previously been a PC title only.
Yeah. But like the reason I'm bringing up Ori is because it was a celebrated Game of the Year type game, right?
The games media celebrated it. There were some Xbox fans that didn't really celebrate it. So it depends on how you look at it. But for me, if Xbox was to put Flight Sim on other consoles, I would probably just move to PC and be done with it.
Okay.
I mean,
fair enough.
There would not you already have Forza on PC. The only other thing keeping me there is the Elite Series 2 controller, as far as with the haptic triggers. Outside of that, it's like, yeah, the ecosystem's great, the dual entitlement is great, but at some point, if things are going to go elsewhere, then I could probably start working on or focusing on building my Steam library even further. Now, would I buy as many Xbox first party titles? It all depends, because they're still going to get their money either way. But it would come down to if Game Pass is still in existence. If it's not, and the whole notion of trying to put Game Pass everywhere just falls flat, then there really isn't any reason to stay in the ecosystem.
I mean, that's kind of where I'm at. Like, I think I would honestly be full PC if Xbox, like Game Bar and stuff, was as seamless as it is on the Xbox, but it's not. Yeah. What's keeping me to the Xbox is just I can start the Xbox up, go to party chat, and invite someone. Whereas like it's more annoying on PC.
Yeah, you know what's keeping me from being full PC?
Is you have 18
It's a
Xboxes
PC.
across your
No,
house.
my couch, like a couch and the recliner. That's the number one reasons I don't like game on PC all the time. Is like I
Yeah,
just like
same.
want to get comfy and play on a TV or whatever. Like, and that's always going to be a thing, right? So there's always going to be a consumer audience that's kind of like more interested in a console type experience, right? And as long as that exists, I feel like Xbox is going to still make consoles.
But question for you, man. If your goal, as Phil Spencer, they said this so many times, if your goal is Game Pass and you're putting games on other platforms where Game Pass does not exist, what is the point of growing Game Pass where you know that where you're putting your games, Game Pass doesn't exist?
Well, people are
That
paying
makes
full
sense.
price for those games over there, so
Yeah,
they're
and
still
if-
making
Yeah, but
money.
you-
Like,
If
But
they
a game like
Google it, too,
Hi-Fi
they
Rush,
can-
does that move the needle at all? Like revenue? Like I understand Sea of Thieves maybe,
well,
but like a game like Hi-Fi Rush, I don't feel like that will grow Xbox in any way. To be honest, I don't know. Maybe I'm
has
wrong.
sell a lot
Maybe
of
that.
copies of Hi-Fi Rush. Like
It's a
I
tough
mean,
one.
I don't know how many, but it'll sell a lot. Like it's a
It should, but will it? Because if I'm on Switch, like let's say I didn't have an Xbox at all, I had a Nintendo Switch, but I have a PC, I have a decent browser on it, decent internet. If I really wanted to play Hi-Fi Rush, I would have did the sign up for Game Pass for 1 month and moved on for that one game. I could pay, the $9.99 or $11.99 for 1 month, play it, possibly beat it within that time, and move on, as opposed to spending a full 70. Now it all depends on if the person wants to own their games, but once again, then the question becomes, especially with something like Nintendo, is it going to be back compat when the Switch 2 comes out?
Right.
I mean, I'm assuming this would probably be for
that was
Switch 2,
what
but
I said on Twitter.
But it
Fuzz,
could
like,
also be a way to grow Game Pass. Like if like someone's like say like I don't know how much Hi-Fi costs, but if it is a $60 game or whatever, like if you're on Nintendo and you're gonna buy it, like before you buy it, you may like go to Google and be like, what's the reviews on this? And you see it's on Game Pass. So instead of you spending the $60, you'd be like, I'll just do the $9 thing. So then they get you in that ecosystem, and then like by the time you beat Hi-Fi, you're like, well, I still have this for another 25 days. I might as well see if there's something else on here.
Right.
And then you just get stuck in there.
There was a part of that quote when they said like case by case basis thing, like, and I was trying to find it and I couldn't find it, but like I remember I was saying like on certain kinds of games that make sense, right? From the get-go, I honestly felt like there was one point I remember on one of our shows, I would like ask you guys, is Hi-Fi Rush on Switch? Because I could have swore like they might have already released it on Switch, because I just feel like that's a Switch kind of game. And and like I have from the start, and like it could be like a developer request. It could be like something that Obsidian wanted to do. They think it's a good fit. Like we don't know 100%. Yeah, sorry, Tango. 100% like why that potential scenario came about. I know why Ori originally came about is because the developers wanted it, right?
yeah.
And like if there's a certain situation where why this is happening with Hi-Fi Rush, they just feel like it's a great fit for the platform or whatever, and this or that. It feels like one of those potential case by case basis things that would be happening here. And yeah, I get like you can take one off the exclusive 9+, chess trophy board, for Microsoft in that case, but like, and you have to ask, okay, well, what's the motivation there? And it's like, well, sales is a thing. There's a lot of people.
They're playing in a market that doesn't.
Like,
they are alone in this market. I
right?
hope Microsoft realize
they've
that.
been alone in the market for a long time now, doing their own thing.
They have been.
Ever
Like
since
they've been the first console to do PC, Xbox for sure. They've been
ever
alone.
since Game Pass launched too. They just completely made up a whole new thing. Like they're always doing their own thing because there's not much of a direct competition, with PlayStation on the console space anymore, right?
And also, Hi-Fi isn't bringing anyone to Xbox at this point anyway. It's like, it's kind of already run its course.
And it's like, how many will they sell on a Switch? I don't know, but I know there's a lot of people that only play on Switch. Right? So
Yeah.
like, is it a new place for people to play the game? I personally will buy it on Switch. I will.
I know.
Like,
I think I'm just thinking about it from a lens like you some exclusives are still important to you. I'm speaking as if I was a Microsoft executive.
well,
Some
but that's
exclusives
gonna be-
are
that's gonna
still
be your
still important
Starfields and
to you.
stuff.
Can
That's
we
not gonna
say-
be fucking hi-fi.
can we say hi to Psycho for he's been here for like 30
Hi.
minutes. What's
Hey,
up,
guys.
man?
Psycho.
How's everybody doing?
Welcome to the
Fantastic
show.
to be here.
Hey.
what's up?
Are people buying less consoles now, knowing that they're going full multi-plat now? PlayStation with
No, I sell out of Xboxes every day.
Oh,
I
so
keep getting them in, and I keep selling them out.
So the casuals that don't follow the gaming news that are going to buy consoles right now are
No,
not,
they don't
are
give
not
two
concerned with
But
this.
that's also the casuals don't even care about exclusives anyway. If you look at the top
Ex-
3 games,
exactly,
it's Fortnite, Call of Duty, and
bro.
FIFA. So
Yeah.
Fucking exactly, bro. People are buying
Exactly.
these consoles,
And-
not
FIFA
really
is in
for
Game
that.
Pass. So FIFA's in Game Pass, Madden's in Game Pass, and so is MLB. So a lot of people that are in sports only.
Need to add NBA.
is
They did-
is little
in there,
Timmy
like,
gonna
after
sell
6
his
months or something.
Xbox when Sea of Thieves goes to PlayStation, and is he just gonna switch
No.
playing on PlayStation?
No, see, this is the thing. There's a lot to unpack because I've been listening to you guys for a while. Like now, if we go to what matters with Xbox, with these games, a game like Sea of Thieves, if it is for some reason, if it does come to PlayStation, that's introducing a lot of gamers, even casuals that don't touch an Xbox, but maybe see this. And I don't know if it's going to be a free to play type game or if it's going to be a low barrier cost to pick it up. Whatever they decide to do, between Microsoft and PlayStation. But with the game like Sea of Thieves, you're already on PC. Going to PlayStation with that game, that introduces a lot of people. And then like, oh, this is a fantastic game, Xbox game. What else does Xbox have? And then they'll look up like what Xbox games, and then they see this Game Pass. I've heard about Game Pass, and then they'll look into it and be like, oh wow, there's a lot of stuff that's in there. And I play a lot of these games because FIFA, Madden, and all those, and they're like, okay, and Call of Duty more likely to be in Game Pass here in a couple of months with that announcement. So a lot of casuals are like, oh shit, if this is what Xbox has and I'm having a blast, what else do they have? And they can come over, and if they got a PC, they just download, the PC Game Pass or Ultimate if they want to, or get into the ecosystem by getting a Series S, because they're like, I don't want to spend the $500, but I can go and spend $250 for Series S and get into the ecosystem that way. Now, Hi-Fi Rush, I do not think it's coming to PlayStation at all. I think it's more of a Switch type release. As Brad Sim said, Xbox games, it could be a couple things. It could be Diablo. It could be because Diablo 4 is not on the Switch, because it can't handle what that could do. But the Switch 2 possibly can handle a lower resolution Diablo 4 and give someone a decent experience. And then Hi-Fi Rush is another thing. That's a game that they would definitely be like, oh wow, this is I love this. What else do they have? Oh, they got Psychonauts too. If it's a multiple release title, and if they bring Psychonauts 2, that's another game that they get into, because a lot of Switch users between a certain age, they don't have PCs as the older crowd, that like teenage and older, they're more than likely have a good working PC that can run a lot of these games. But the younger generation that are going to play,
what
these
if
type
this
of games-
like Nate the hate rumor thing is like, maybe we're thinking about it wrong. Like because there was rumors that they were supposed to be remaking, was it Oblivion or whatever, and that was originally exclusive to Xbox back in the day. So if they remake that and they put it on multiple platforms, it would have been original Xbox exclusive, but now it's again going to multiple platforms because it was only exclusive
Oblivion
for like
was
1 year.
another one people.
So
could
if the
very well
remake
be.
comes out, and then he also mentioned like whenever the sequel comes out in a few years, so like the Elder Scrolls 6 sequel is supposed to come out like 27, 28, somewhere around there, right? So
Oh, he said something about a
Yeah.
sequel.
he said it would draw people whenever the sequel was announced. and
Yeah,
came out.
but that's it. But 6 will be exclusive to
Yeah.
Xbox. They will not put that on anything else because that will draw people into the
I
ecosystem.
100%
And that's a very
agree
good-
with you. Which remember
It
the
could be a thing.
remember this discussion we had like it was a couple months back, Psycho, and like you lost your shit when I like at the time because like things were coming out at like with the ABK deal, like FTC, and like potentially what kind of concessions are they going to have to make about, and then remember they were trying to get Bethesda games to be there too, and you know it's like
Yeah.
I just said at the time I was like. It wouldn't surprise me after the ABK acquisition if we see some interesting games go to other places. And I said, including maybe even Elder Scrolls 6. And you were like, fuck you, Maverick, you son of a bitch. I hate you. I'm going to leave the podcast.
Yeah,
forever."
no.
No. But like we had that like
That won't happen.
conversation, right? At the time. And like it was it's a transformational thing. But yeah, I agree with you. I don't think Elder Scrolls is part of that now, like at all. And like there's certain kinds of games that are going to be the draw, right? Like this is
And
to the
Oblivion
Xbox
is-
ecosystem. But I don't see like what the big deal is about an old Sea of Thieves or like a year old Hi-Fi Rush going to like a Switch.
Well, like I said, like Hi-Fi Rush is one of those titles that'd be great for the Switch. I mean, you got what almost 200 million users on the Switch. So having all those users looking at Game Pass, that's like a win for them, and a game that it's very clean, polished. That's fine. I mean, it's one game that, yeah, it's not like I know Phil Spencer said if games that are in Game Pass, it'd be exclusive as long wherever Game Pass is. But that's a game where it's not a Halo, Gears, that if those type of exclusives, that would be like, what the fuck you doing? Might as well just go fucking third party and fucking.
It just
fill
makes me
your-
wonder what the effect is, though, Psycho. Like the possibly an opposing effect where PlayStation gamers will just wait for a game that's never coming to their platform, as opposed to I do know like Sea of Thieves and stuff
Hardcore
could
will
potentially change. Yeah, hardcore. We're talking about like a specific audience, right? Because
Casuals will go wherever
Casuals-
the game is.
well,
They don't
casuals
give a
will
shit.
stay with the same 3-4 games. So the friggin'
Well,
Yeah, like,
Madden
did
and
y'all
stuff
see
like-
those sales charts that were like for the international sales charts that was put out there
No.
for like the number one selling games like in all the different countries?
Isn't it like
Oh yeah,
Hogwarts
fucking hell,
in
like
Call of Duty?
FIFA, bro.
yeah, FIFA.
FIFA was like number one or number two in almost every country that was there. I was like, holy crap, dude.
Yeah, well,
like there's Call
soccer,
of
football
Duty,
is a huge.
Call of Duty. There was FIFA and
Minecraft.
or Fortnite. Yeah,
it-
Fortnite was number one almost everywhere. Right? You're on mute, Jasper.
South Korea was the only country that didn't have Fortnite or Call of Duty.
Yeah.
That was
Diablo.
Yeah, they had yeah. I was like, whoa, that's cool. But
I mean,
man,
it's just I'm just wondering the opposing effect, right? When you
Well-
start having a precedent, where you start putting games on every platform, do you guys
But if
feel at
you-
all that devalues your own platform, where everyone's like, well, I don't need
No,
to get it on?
No,
No,
because
not at all.
because when you got a game that is very small, like a Pentiment, a Hi-Fi Rush, those games they're not going to move the needle to bring users onto your platform. So if you put it on other platforms like the Switch, that will introduce, oh, this is an Xbox game. What else does Xbox have? That will move the needle for people looking at Xbox because it's
in a
not
sense though, in that
not
regard,
a big game.
Psycho, in a way though, like I actually kind of feel like it does the opposite because like people in just in that regard, I personally, again, like I see in the chat, like I stop saying it doesn't matter. Like I see you, Trevor. Like it doesn't matter to me, right? I get that it matters, okay, but like
Yeah.
it does.
I'm just
Certain
talking about
games matter.
when I'm talking, guys. I'm talking about the messaging of how
Right.
it affects Xbox through the media, through the lens, because they already look at Xbox through an Xbox tax lens. So where I'm kind of looking at it is from even an additional thing where they're like, oh, like Xbox will go full third party. Their games that are on there are lesser than PlayStation and Nintendo. So every other game, even if it's triple quality, unless it goes into PlayStation or something like that, it's lesser because the games are on PlayStation, they're premium, they are whatever. But on Xbox, oh, they're gonna go third party. It doesn't matter. That's kind of the thing I'm kind of talking about. Like the like again, it doesn't affect me, but in terms of like the Xbox's messaging and the form of the way the media is sort of headed, I feel like that's where it's gonna go. Just based on when they do have more games than Sony, even last year, where Sony had one game, one first party game, Xbox was still having some sort of negative, connotation releasing great titles. So I'm thinking about it from the lens of the media and like, hey, even though, you release games on these other platforms and stuff, what does that do to people who were thinking about going into Xbox platform?
that's
And they're
why
saying like, oh,
the
these
media
games
doesn't
are
matter
also on
either. That's
PlayStation.
why Xbox is trying to create their own fucking.
Right.
They're
Like,
trying to create their own thing. There's like, I don't care what the fucking media says. If they cared about what the media says, they wouldn't be giving IGN first party fucking exclusive content all the fucking time.
yeah, and Starfield wouldn't be doing as well as it is. Also, like, if the
And this
media
is
had
the thing.
right.
Yeah.
When you got games like a small game like Hi-Fi Rush that goes to other like the Switch and stuff like that, this could very well be Xbox or Microsoft doing what they can to be like, listen, we put a game that no one asked for on another platform. So in the future, when they try to acquire other studios, they're not met with resistance when they're trying to get other studios, as much as we saw with ABK. So seeing that, if like Diablo 4 goes to Nintendo as well, that could be like, because it's already on PlayStation. Oh, okay. See, Xbox, there's select titles. They did say case to case. So they're not lying on their messaging. They're doing things outside of what we've asked and what we all thought they would do. So possibly for future acquisitions, maybe they're trying to set that up for a Sega or a Square Enix or a Bandai Namco or something that's over in Japan that we know that is a missing link that they need and really, really had to have.
Like
And
financially, yeah, go ahead.
Like Jasper said, like putting Oblivion, because it's already been on the PS3, but if you put Oblivion remake out on both PlayStation and now Nintendo on their either Switch 2 or Pro, we're getting mixed messaging with that too. And that's another thing. Rumors, folks, it's rumors. Don't take it to heart. It is just someone speculating of what they heard or what they're seeing or something. So with having Oblivion going to both PlayStation and Nintendo in the future, whenever that comes out, that's like an olive branch, and that could also again play in their favor for a future acquisition. Xbox does things because they do things for a reason. They don't just do it because it's goodwill towards the gaming community. No, they don't fucking give a shit.
When we all play, they're win, Psycho. Come on, man, get with the program. When we all play,
they're doing it because they're on the hunt for something, and they want to get
money.
A good mess. No, they want the good messaging out to the regulators. Like, oh look, Xbox is doing up and beyond what we expected.
So literally the reason why they saved Apple back in the day is so they get on the good side of regulators back in the day. Like,
exactly,
we'll bail out Apple.
Yeah, They bailed out Apple, and look where Apple is now. But because they don't want to
Khan
be
doesn't care.
a monopoly. Well, Lila Khan, never mind. I am going to that.
I
We'll
feel
see if
like
she's
this
still
has
in-
nothing to
in
do
her
with.
office, but still.
I feel like this has nothing to do with regulation,
Yeah.
just because of the fact that they already are. Again, they are putting other games on other platforms right now as we speak. More than any other, they put more games on their other platforms than Nintendo and PlayStation probably combined at this point.
Yeah, but we're
Does
also
does everyone
50
sort of agree with that?
50 million
Yeah.
users.
So-
What?
What
28
people-
on Xbox and 45, 50 on Xbox One. You got a very low consumer base. Yeah, some titles are going to go to other places because they want a broader reach, and games like a Hi-Fi Rush or Oblivion could reach and get more people looking at Xbox.
Well, Psycho's
that
on the
might not
money
do it.
with that because like
Xbox plays 4D chess, man. That's
Well,
all I'm
no,
saying.
look,
They're
what-
fucking smart.
When you say yes, like Xbox puts more games on other places than any other place because they have honestly all these ongoing live service games of service games. They
Correct.
have this
Yeah.
massive and
Makes
like
the money.
we all there used to be concern: is Xbox going to do okay? Is that what are they going to pull out of it? They're a fucking juggernaut now, guys. Like there is no more
Yeah.
concern over the well-being of Xbox under Microsoft and all this kind of stuff.
No.
Like they are cemented. They just acquired ABK, which was like the largest gaming publisher out there, for $70 billion and added it on top of Bethesda ZeniMax, which they had already acquired, and all these other studios. And they said they're not done yet. They are this other massive, huge entity now. There's no more fucking like concern. Okay, right? They got
They're
COD
just
money,
putting these games on
right?
other platforms because they're shutting down in 27. So they're like, we might as well fucking let games live on.
For every bad messaging they do out there, where us Xbox fans be like, oh, that messaging was pretty bad. Like Grandma playing Candy Crush just took care of it. Okay, Grandma playing Candy Crush with her 8500th level that she's on. It was like, hey, I got you, Xbox fanboys. You know, we're okay here. I need to
$5 to
spend
get 3 more lives.
I need to spend more money for some more lives here. We're okay, right? Like at the end of the day, Xbox is a fucking juggernaut now, and like there's not a concern over their business. You know what I mean? So like a lot of it, like when it comes to like what you said earlier, Psycho, about like maybe it'll help people identify like Xbox on other platforms and stuff. I think honestly, in some ways, like it has an alternate effect because it kind of like removes that Xboxness away if you put games on other platforms. Like Ori, people
But
don't
they're
really
not
think
doing-
of it that
yeah,
like
but
that
Ori
anymore,
was-
or like
But those games were always it was in the contract, and a game like Hi-Fi Rush again is one of those games that is it had its peak on Xbox. Maybe some of the new users will come on and play, but that's not a lot more. And you know, and it's one of those things again. It's
I just
if
don't
you
think those
see-
players are really going to
But
care
it's-
if it's Xbox
but
or
it's-
not. You know what I mean?
but
Like,
one game like a Hi-Fi Rush is not going to send the message like all first party games are coming to everything, but that's not the case.
But
That-
again, it's not about the platform at the end of the day. Even when it comes to Switch, it's about Xbox's just new identity as being a major player in the game industry, not just
yeah,
about
this
your
massive
console.
other entity that we've never experienced before. There's never been a platform holder that has a gaming subscription service like this that's also a huge multi-platform publisher as well, right? Like they got ABK, they got Call of Duty, they got Diablo, they got all this other stuff. So they're have this huge multi-platform publishing arm, right? That they also have their exclusives to draw people into their ecosystem, and that's going to continue. But they're also looking at this under this kind of transformational thing, like, well, what do we do like with
They're almost playing like every role under the Xbox name now.
because they have ABK.
Yeah.
They got ABK, they got the Xbox, and they also have ZeniMax Bethesda. They are doing all of these different things. They bought ZeniMax Bethesda more, I think, for that
okay,
identity and the exclusivity at first, but like
this is okay.
Yeah.
All right, this listen to this. The outrage that I did not hear as much outrage for Marathon coming to Xbox day and date as possibly fucking Hi-Fi Rush going to possibly
That's because no one knows what the fuck Marathon
Well,
was.
yeah,
'cause-
and then also,
But
That-
it's
you know-
already
Bungie,
known that it was
is
going to be
a
multi-plat.
it's a big first party title coming from PlayStation that's
yeah, those
staying
people didn't know what the fuck that
multiplat.
was, though.
But you know
But
what? Where
Those
this
people just
will
learned
get-
what Bungie was like
That's a
after
major-
PlayStation 1. They thought they were getting Halo with it, so you can't.
that's true.
But
did think
I'm
they were
saying,
getting
but
Halo.
that is a major PlayStation studio bringing a game to Xbox.
It
That's the
already
only
had in
one.
their contract that they would.
He doesn't
continue
wear
to
a red
do that.
Spider-Man suit. I don't know what the fuck he is. It's
So that's the thing. It's crazy how people get frazzled with Hi-Fi Rush going to play to Nintendo versus a Bungie making a game
It's
that
not
is
the same. It's not.
It's
To
I
use
agree
those
with you.
comparisons, it's not the same. Bungie was already assumed to be a multi-platform when they were acquired.
Mhm.
So everything that they made,
It's kind
moving
of like Call of
forward-
Duty, right? Same situation
Right.
in a way. Yeah.
So it's along the lines of Call of Duty. I would say a closer one, which you did see flipping out about, was with Death Stranding being published by 505 Games on Microsoft Store
Mhm.
to be able to be played on PC, Xbox PC. There was some outrage on that. It's like, well, I thought it was, a PlayStation first party title.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
PlayStation cats will complain, and they complain about when stuff goes to Steam. So there is, I would say, similar outrage, if not more so, because I don't think as many people are upset about PC. Even going back, I think there were less people upset about PC day and date as compared to PC 1 to 2 years later that PlayStation does. So it's a little bit of a different situation. But like I said, people were not happy about 505 publishing that on PC. So
Yeah.
yeah. Some
Yeah,
of them
I
are
feel
upset
like
about
that-
Helldivers going
that,
to PC. So.
that sense of like kind of entitlement that you kind of get with PlayStation expecting games. I just feel like it's going to get 10 times worse though.
Over
Like
time,
with
the whole
Blade,
thing's
when you think
changing.
about with Blade
Like,
though, like the whole conversation around Blade was what?
is it coming to
What was it?
PlayStation? Yeah.
Exactly. So now with this, it's going to be like,
Yeah. And I
when's
think
Halo coming? When's
now-
Elder Scrolls coming?
But,
When's-
but the thing
a
is-
game like Blade is huge, is big.
the thing is that only really matters
It's
in like
staying on
in
Xbox.
these like Twitter like
Yeah.
super gaming community spheres. It doesn't.
Yeah.
That
I know
doesn't.
it doesn't matter in the
it
in the
doesn't
grand
matter
Casual
in the grand
audience is
scheme of
asking, when is
things,
Blade
you know?
coming to Fortnite?
His Blade's been in Fortnite.
Oh, is
Yeah,
I didn't even talk about that.
yeah.
Is Blade in Fortnite?
Yeah, he's been in there.
Oh.
Yeah, I almost bought him the other day because he showed up back in the store.
Shoot, is he still there?
No, I
He's
don't
still in
think
there?
so. No. But yeah, like, so I saw it earlier in the chat too, Trevor, who was saying that like it said, don't stop saying it doesn't matter. Like it matters, doesn't matter to me. But it also said, but like if it was like a different game, like y'all are just saying this because it's a game you don't care about.
I literally
I-
said Halo.
If
I
it
want
was
Halo on
if
Switch.
it was Halo, Starfield, whatever, I personally, if other people got to play it, I don't care. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't affect me in any kind of way
No.
whatsoever. Like I personally I don't care at all.
Halo
Period.
and
Now,
Starfield should stay exclusive to
yeah,
Xbox.
I'm not saying they should. I'm not saying they shouldn't. Right? Like,
That
don't take
is
that.
100%.
Yeah, don't take that out of context. Like,
Be-
business wise and all that stuff. Yes,
Your exclusives is what brings people to your ecosystem.
right. But I'm talking about my own experience. Does it change my enjoyment of the game? No. Like,
No.
do I
And, like-
also get those games in Game Pass and on the console that I prefer to play on? Yes, and that's why I asked the question about why do you play on the Xbox? Like it's because I prefer the Xbox device, right?
Yeah.
And I also like Game Pass, and I like saving money, and
And
also
also,
like
you don't give a
all
fuck
of
what
it.
other people play because you're just going to play what you want to play.
I could care less if other people were playing like Halo or Starfield or Elder Scrolls 6 or Hi-Fi Rush or Forza Horizon 5 or Forza Motorsport on their PlayStation. I honestly don't give a shit as long as I know that Xbox is still going to make a new Xbox. Now, if that affected that, then I would have a problem. Because I don't want to have to play those games on a PlayStation, right?
No.
I want to play those games on an
underpowered
Xbox.
and overpriced.
That's I want to play on
Like
an
it is
Xbox,
now.
and as long as that future is secure, which it sounds like it is, I don't care if they pick random games occasionally.
They're gonna start making exclusives for other platforms. Yeah, that's not fucking happen.
And like the thing, like for me, like the thing I love about Xbox is that, look what 3-Bit said, the community with being able to get on, invite people to play a game, looking for people to play games is bar none. No one can match that.
Way better.
The infrastructure, how stable the Xbox Live is bar none. There's nothing that even touches it. Now, Now look at PlayStation and their online infrastructure. That shit is straight dog shit and has been dog shit. When PS3, when that came out, that was a host-to-host type server connection. That was trash. And then when they went to this, what Xbox did, they got their servers, their infrastructure, that they started charging, but it was still fucking trash because that shit to this day gets hacked fucking all the time.
Yeah, I got hacked.
And
that was fun.
That's what makes Xbox so great, because the close knit and the community within Xbox itself is amazing, and it's the standard. Xbox has been the leader in innovation since the very beginning. They're the first to have a hard drive in their console, first to have a broadband connection on their console, and everybody else followed suit behind Xbox. And they copied everything to this day, because that's what the PS4 Pro is, so PlayStation can say, oh, we got a better box. But guess what? It took you fucking 4 years to get to where Xbox Series X is now. So fuck off.
Okay, that was random. But anyway,
no. Okay. Sorry.
The last thing I'll say
that was a
is
random little Psychonauts PlayStation shit.
Well, we just let him rant.
Yeah.
Like
Sony sucks.
Which I agree with a lot of what it was saying, but because again, I got hacked during that big Sony hack, that whatever, and then people always try to forget about it. Like, my data was a part of that breach, and I will never really forget that. Considering I could barely buy games on PlayStation, but that's a side thing. The last thing I will say, like for one, like, I'm glad you guys are here to balance me out a little bit, because again, I'm definitely in my feelings about this.
Fuzzy is more in his feelings than you are, I think.
I'm pretty in my feelings. I'm trying to hold back.
Xbox here, if this comes true, he's
No.
like, Fuzzy's like, if they put Hi-Fi Rush on PC, I'm fucking just.
Well, again, I think exclusives do matter. I think they are important. They bring people into the ecosystem. They do all these different things, and if they start putting every other game on other platforms, it does devalue the brand to me.
I do have a question for you guys real quick. I got to get to the super chats too after that. But do you guys think that there's just been a general way overblown overreaction from just some fucking rumors the last couple of days?
Yes.
Yeah, it happens every time. Just before Xbox is going to have news where there's that lull or quiet before the storm, this stuff pops up. And it seems always
our last dev direct.
Yeah, it happened before the last dev direct. It happened before the last showcase. It's like every time there's like a couple of days or a week before Xbox news is about to drop. Oh, there's a showcase or there's a dev direct. These rumors start coming up, whether it's going third party, or this game's going over here, or Xbox is leaving the console market in 2027. It's like, and I think that's the messaging part that's frustrating, where I'm in my feelings more so, that it winds up being like a repeated process. And I'm pretty sure, like we've mentioned earlier, Phil is already tired of having to say or respond to, is this game going over here? Or when does this come to PlayStation?
He said as much, right? Like he's commented specifically about that. Yeah.
and you would think he learned from like the whole Tomb Raider situation. It's like the gaming media lambasted him about having that as a 1 year exclusive, and they really had to pry it from him to let him know or have him say something like, "Oh, it's a 1 year exclusive." And then the PlayStation fanboys are like, "Well, we'll just wait until it comes to PlayStation." It's like
Yeah.
the whole purpose of having an exclusive is to not let the competition know when it's possibly going there, if it's going there. But this is
Yeah.
rumors. There's a lot of emotions and actions and reactions and people being clipped for Alex videos and stuff. But I don't know. It feels like, if your favorite sports team doesn't make it to the playoffs, can some of the top players go help out the other teams to, win the championship? I don't think many people would be happy about that. But, it's different. But I look at it as Xbox has been working on building the brand. Hi-Fi Rush is a perfect IP to have a cartoon or anime, plush toys, the whole nine, and push it to the limit. You put it on other platforms, I don't know if that helps or hurts. I honestly don't know, but I feel like if I was a Nintendo guy, I'm probably not going to buy it. I would probably do the $9.99 or whatever for like PC Game Pass. Try it, see if I like it, beat it, continue the subscription, maybe check out other stuff, but there's no guarantee that I'm going to check out the other stuff and be like, "Oh, you know what? I should probably keep this." It just feels weird.
That mindset is what I'm thinking about. Is just the sentiment when people think about PlayStation, they think about the certain games. Yes, if you think about the grand scheme of things, people only really play third-party games. Not really talking about that. More so like the sentiment of like when people expect like Nintendo games, like, "Oh, I can only play Mario on this. Oh, I can play Sony on this." With Xbox, they literally just start getting the ball rolling on these studios, on these games. This was like last year and this year were basically like finally they're starting to get the ball rolling of they bought all these studios. Now they're starting to get this sort of like A, B, C, D every single year going forward. And it's like as soon as that happens, these rumors come out. So it's kind of like, bro, you just got some games like how some Hi-Fi Rush and Starfield and all these different stuff. So it's just a sentiment. Like it is hard because like I get what everyone here is kind of talking about, and like at the end of it, does it affect me, Mav, Psycho? Probably not. It's just I'm a fan of the brand, and I'm base a lot of what I say on Phil's statements and stuff like that.
So the brand is like way bigger now than like we can really fathom, like in a way, because of everything that they've acquired. Like we're in a new world now post ABK, and we just haven't realized it yet. Like we're here sitting like as Xbox gamers, like just like, yeah, Xbox, they added this. They added a publisher that was like larger than themselves. You know what I mean? Like,
no, yeah.
And so like this whole thing is new, and there's going to be different things that happen over the course of time, and we're all going to learn about this new entity of how Xbox is going to handle things as we go forward. And
no,
yeah, go ahead, Psycho.
I was going to say, because a lot of these rumors, how they start, a lot of it is because one group is told something, and another group is told something, and then whatever that comes out in, as rumors or whatever, they know, okay, I told this to over here, so this is where our leak is coming from. So this way, if multiple things come out, no one knows what exactly is what's happening. So I definitely like everyone's saying, it happens every time before Direct comes, and we're hearing that possibly next week is when they're gonna either make an announcement or
I think an announcement comes sooner than that, but we'll find out.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like we heard that the 14th is something, and then we heard the 23rd, 24th, I think, or something. I think
it was the week of the 14th is when we're supposed to have the announcement. I think
Yeah,
is
so the
what it
14th
was.
is the announcement, and then the following week or two, is going to be the actual showcase.
Imagine
and-
Phil goes on the stage for a bit and he's like, "Hi-Fi Rush exclusive," and he just walks off, like dispelling all the. That would be so funny.
He's like, Hi-Fi
That would
Rush
be so-
exclusive. Now,
Hi-Fi
shut
Rush
the fuck up.
exclusive.
It's
Drops the
just-
mic.
Like my point with the comment I was making is like we're so used to Xbox being kind of the underdogs here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like having this fighting spirit. They need to do this. Like when they need to do that. Like they're on fucking top now with ABK. Like it literally, they've acquired number one.
That's
type
something we should
stat.
talk
Like,
about is
like-
terms of the revenue they're making
yeah,
compared
like,
to.
that's what is judged,
PlayStation,
right? That's how you judge it. Like they got way more studios than anybody else. Got way more games coming out. Way more exclusives than Nintendo or PlayStation combined. All coming into Game Pass day and date. And we're sitting there potentially freaking out because Sea of Thieves and Hi-Fi Rush might be on other platforms. And it's like, oh my God, what are they doing? Right? Oh, this is like, no, don't do this, Xbox. But like, if you take a step back and look at everything they're fucking have and are doing that is bigger and better than the competition. And it's like, why is there such this overreaction and concern when they have so much? Literally, like on the last show that we had done on PM and the PM, me and Pong were just sitting there kind of talking about, like, I think we actually did on one of our other shows, like on the Ultimate the week before. We were looking at like start kind of talking about all the games they have in development, all the projects and stuff.
What do you
and we're
guys
like,
think will be at the Dev Direct?
I don't fucking know, man. It's like it could be anything. That's the crazy thing about Xbox right now. Like they literally have. We counted up. There's probably about like 10 possible games that could come out this year or maybe more, right? And like,
don't they have
that
40
we can make a
announced
strong
on Game
case.
Pass?
There's
Was it 40 or 20?
not for this year, no, but
Yeah,
like, oh no,
No,
I'm
no,
talking about
not
first party.
not first party.
Okay,
I'm talking
yeah.
about coming to Game Pass. There's like 20 or 40 already announced. Right?
What are you talking about? For this year? This year just started.
Buzz.
Yeah.
I think it's close to 40. Because
Yeah,
there's
what?
things like
40.
33 Immortals. There's
Oh, yeah.
Replaced should make it.
Bunch of third
Hopefully,
party stuff that
Silk
got
Song
delayed.
makes it.
Stalker, all that.
Yeah, Stalker 2.
There's a lot coming
So
to Game
there's-
Pass this year.
And then that's not including the 40 other Call of Duty games that are back in pat that could drop whenever they decide to make that fucking roundtable announcement, whenever that is. So there's a fuck ton of games, and that's not include. I guarantee
But
we're
I'm
gonna
losing
get
my
a,
hi-fi exclusive, so I don't care about any of that fucking.
we will get the Transformer either off. We'll get War on Cybertron, Fall of Cybertron. We'll get Transformers Devi.
I don't know if we're
Devastation.
getting those.
Oh, yeah, and all the.
Here's
No,
how the rumors
that's
start.
the thing.
Xbox communications go from a random podcast.
Hasbro
and goes,
has
"This
already
is
came
Transformers."
I know Hasbro said
Hasbro
that, but then they
has
also
came out, and Lulu's like, yes, we got the code
Lulu doesn't work
for
there
this
anymore. What does she know?
anymore.
That's,
Damn.
that's a shame.
But she was when that
That's
came
cold,
out.
yes.
there
So-
was a whole retraction message and stuff too. But like,
Yeah,
we don't know
that
that,
was-
Xbox went to them and got the
I-
license back and stuff.
I think they will. I think
I
they
hope
will
so.
bring out
But you're
bring those
talking-
games.
You're talking about it like it's fact. That's why-
because it's Xbox, man.
Well, here's all I want. Now that you have Crash Bandicoot as a mascot, I want him to do a kind of like a setup where he goes to a Nintendo employee and a Sony employee and talking about sharing games.
He goes outside their headquarters like the old ad.
Yeah.
Like plays an Xbox in the
So,
parking lot.
so
or
what
some
if they
shit.
do
You
the
heard you
same?
don't have any games. You want some games?
So what if
There
they
you
do
go.
that? Phil Spencer does the same thing, but with Doug Bowser and hands him Hi-Fi Rush. How do you think that would land?
You know what? At this point, I think that would land better because at least the messaging is it's clear as day. There's no
Right.
second guessing.
But
at that
like,
point,
a business place, is Nintendo going to give something back? Right? That's the thing. Like, that's the 3-bit was talking about earlier. Is like, you know,
You can have
PlayStation,
GoldenEye
Nintendo.
multiplayer now.
Like, what
Yeah.
in this grand scheme of things does this end up helping potentially in other ways with the relationship in the long term? I don't think so, because it's just not those other
Just give us-
platforms way.
Yeah,
Just give
I
us
just feel like
F-Zero
Nintendo and Sony are very stingy with their stuff, and Xbox is like,
Well,
"Here, guys, what do you think about
like
this?" And
Nin-
Nintendo's like, "Bruh,
Place-
what are you doing on my lawn?
PlayStation
Why are you here?"
slowly coming along, right? Nintendo doesn't need to do anything different because they're just fucking everybody over and everybody's fine with it. Like, so
Where's
it's like,
Sony coming? Like, they're suing Microsoft right now. What is Sony doing? They're literally in court with Microsoft trying to stop ABK.
Yeah, but they already have so many
Maybe
other
this is a
games on
bribe.
PlayStation also, like 3-bit. So it's not like any real difference. They just, like,
Well, yeah,
so if
but they're
PlayStation, like, if PlayStation is like, starts to fuck over Xbox, Xbox has a lot of ammunition there that they can really pull stuff from them if they wanted to. Like,
that's true.
so
That is
like
true.
the more actually that PlayStation is dependent on Xbox, you want to talk about really fucking PlayStation over? You make that shit dependent on Microsoft.
That's true. The tables,
Like,
the tables have turned, or
already
the
got
turntable.
ABK.
Top 5 games are Xbox first party studios.
Like you
Yep,
really want to,
Minecraft, all-
want to twist the knife and start getting some
Twist the nif.
twist the nip.
That's what they're-
Knip?
Twist
That
the-
goddamn knip?
Ah, the nips. You want to really twist them? Like you make them dependent
nipples?
on fucking on Xbox, man. It's just like that's how you play the game. You know?
Yeah, especially when you make duty of call and you're like,
Yeah.
this is an Xbox exclusive.
Yeah, I mean, fucking
And they're
like all the games of service.
Metal.
They're gonna buy every games of service game out there. Period. Point blank. It's like this is Microsoft. I mean, they already got Minecraft. You know, they fucking gonna have COD. Like, I mean, come on, man. Like, there's like so much to this. Like, if they have other live service games like Sea of
Call of
Thieves
Valor.
and they get a good player base on PlayStation, like, does that make PlayStation super happy at the end of the day? If like that's where a lot of their revenue is coming from is Microsoft first party games. Really
a
think
weird
about that
world.
for a
Yeah.
second.
They got a new game coming out. It's called Call to Valor. And it's nothing like Call of Duty. Nothing. But it's exclusive.
See, I wonder if they would get if there is a PS6, like King David says, would they send Xbox Studios those PS6s or even the PS5 Pro dev
No.
kits?
They kind of have to.
They will not. Send
That's what they
those
talked about in
PS6.
the.
Want Call of Duty?
No,
they
here's the
will.
thing.
They-
Here's the thing.
No, they
that was
won't.
all in the
3-bit
court case.
Listen, 3-bit,
That
they
was
won't
literally
do it.
in the court case.
They won't do it. They won't do it.
They will. Yes, they
They'll
will.
be like, hey, you make it for the PS5, and then next
You
year.
think they'll
guys-
wait?
Yes, they will wait.
So they will
Because-
delay Call of Duty because they will not send them a dev
They won't.
kit.
They
No,
won't delay.
no,
You just get
No,
the PS5
Xbox
version.
Call of
You'll
Duty
get
will be
the
an
PS5
Xbox
version.
exclusive.
You'll
get the
a
PS5 version, runs back
version.
compatible.
That's it.
So you
They're
don't.
like,
They're not going to
That
get the PS.
game doesn't look good on the PS6. Why? Because you fucking idiots won't send us the dev kit because you're too goddamn chicken shit. But see, at the time, PS6 is not coming out to 2028, and the new Series X is going to come out at 2026. So the new Call of Duty
And that's just
after,
speculation based off this community. That's not fact.
yeah,
Do you think
not
Sony
fact.
is that? Do you think Sony
Let's
is
get
that
the community
petty?
notes going.
Hold
Yeah.
on, I gotta ask Psycho
So
this. Do you think
Sony's gonna
Sony?
send them a.
Do you think Sony's that petty?
Sony's gonna send them
Yes.
a fucking turd in a shoebox for the dev kit? Okay.
yeah, they will. They'll send
Listen.
the PS5 dev box. That's what they'll do.
Listen, I
They'll be
think
like,
in
"What the
this
fuck is
area,
this?"
Call of Duty is the most sold game on PlayStation. I don't know if they
Yeah.
could be that petty anymore. I don't know.
No,
Have you
Maybe.
heard
Up
Jim
there,
I know-
Ryan? Have you heard
Anything
Jim
from
Ryan
Minecraft.
speak?
It's pretty
That,
petty,
that dude is.
but he's gone.
That dude is.
He's
petty
gone
as-
now.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah, I
God.
think.
I got it. You got to get to super chats, guys. Holy shit.
Oh
Yeah,
shit!
let's get these
Yeah.
super chats.
Like so far behind. Bold Alpha Wolfpack with the $10 super chat. Super appreciate you, Bold Alpha Wolfpack said, imagine the revenue. Microsoft is already swimming in it, but if they can get games or Game Pass in general on Nintendo, bro, that's what's gonna fund Matt Booty's murder of PlayStation. I'm here for it. LOL. Yeah, I mean that's one thing too. Like the more games, these older games that kind of come new to some gamers, like the Switch gamers, all of a sudden that only play on Switch. Oh, I heard about this game, or yeah, I'm gonna try this game. Hi-Fi Rush sell like maybe 1 million copies on Switch. That's a lot. That's a lot of money that can go into Tango's next game, right? Alvin with the $2 says, Switch running flight sim would become an IED. Yeah, I should have said PlayStation instead of Switch. I don't know what I was thinking when I said Switch running flight sim. That would be, they would look like pilot wings.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's
It
like fucking
looks
Star
so
Fox
bad.
looking over here.
It looked like
Fucking
pilot
tiled
wings.
grass.
Spontaneously combust.
It looked like Pokemon. It looked terrible.
Bold Alpha Wolfpack with the $5 said, yo, don't y'all want to see Xbox step into Sony's own and brutalize games like God of War, Spider-Man, and sales? Fuck a bad review. They'll the games. So yeah, do I want to see them like just have a shit ton of sales like God of War or Spider-Man?
What is he asking?
I'm confused.
Yeah,
I
clarify,
think he's
bro.
saying like, don't you want to see Xbox like be able to have that bragging point? Like we sold a bunch of games or whatever, like PlayStation.
Yeah, well, with Game Pass,
Maybe.
it's always going to be kind of like a detriment to that in a way, like because they tout player base now because like Xbox gamers, most of us have Game Pass, right? So
I feel like if they did the early thing like Starfield, that was very smart because like a lot of people bought it to get that early access, and there was a lot of players on Starfield. That's how a lot of people were able to kind of tell what the numbers possibly was for Starfield because a lot of people bought it in early access and it wasn't a part of Game Pass. So they should do that more.
yeah.
Well,
Sir,
they do that with a lot of the big games.
Sir X-Man with the $2 says for 3.5 years, Xbox games have also been on Steam. Yeah, 100%, and they consider that
Sure.
part of Xbox ecosystem. They've said
Yeah.
wherever they release their games, they consider part of their ecosystem. Pharaoh 2525 OG Gaming with the $5 said, "Is that Fuzzy? Start calling him Tupac. He gets around. You get around, Fuzz."
On a lot of podcasts. I didn't even realize. I was like, I don't know. One day I was just watching a lot of podcasts. I was just like, you know what? I have a lot of work
Fuzzy's
to do.
on
Let me just put
Fucking
podcast.
every hour of the
I
day
watched, like-
somewhere, bro.
Yeah, he was in like all the podcasts. I was like, whoa, what the heck? Weren't you just in this one? What happened? How did
He
you
started his own
teleport from
show
here?
too on his own channel with Boom the other day. I saw that. Talking about
Yeah.
Forza.
Oh yeah. I seen that Forza one.
Yeah,
Yeah,
sorry I
yeah,
couldn't
but-
make that, Fuzzy. I didn't get this message
I
till
see.
way later. I was in my
No worries.
Fuzzy's doing it big.
yeah.
I see.
People say like, "Man, you're live so much. How do you podcast so much?" I'm like, dude, you guys don't realize how fucking much Fuzzy podcasts, guys. Like he podcasts, I think, more than anybody else in the community.
Pong used to be the podcaster. Like he used to be everywhere, and now he's just kind of
Yeah.
Well, he's still on a lot of shows too. But I remember when he first starting out, he was on like boom, 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 like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Yeah, he was doing
Just
it.
stay away from Suge, okay, Fuzz?
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Well, he's
Just stay
in
away-
prison, so
Yeah.
everybody should be safe. He doesn't have that much outreach, I don't think.
Bold Alpha Wolfpack with $5 said, people missing grand design. PS and Nintendo gamers buying Xbox games over the titles native to these platforms. That's what's going to make Xbox a market leader. Yeah, Xbox already is a market leader now. I mean,
Yeah, I mean, if we were going to talk about financials, like Sony, 30 billion in debt right now. They just canceled the 10 billion to you. All this different stuff.
Didn't that transaction put Xbox at number 2 behind Apple? Yeah.
What transaction?
The ABK.
Oh, ABK?
Yeah.
I thought so. Yeah. I thought like someone said like once they buy ABK, it adds like an additional how many ever billion to their platform. I can't remember what it was, but
JB
yeah, I think it was right behind that.
says they lead market and revenue profit after the. Yeah, I mean it's a different beast, guys. It's like, and that's what's kind of like. We're still talking about Xbox like this little underdog kind of that's like always picked on and like never. And it's like it's a different fucking entity now. You're on mute, Jasper.
I keep doing that. I think that's Xbox's hard point now is getting Activision Blizzard's brand identified with Xbox.
Yes, 100%. Right, and Game Pass is going to be a big part of that. Yeah, like it's synonymous with ads, Game Pass, all that kind of stuff. I think is going to be a big. Alvin with the $5 says, I'm willing to bet Nintendo is going to share something. This ain't 2018 anymore. Not same Xbox, not same Nintendo CEO. glass full mentality. Watch. We'll see, man. I don't know. Like Nintendo's like the most cemented into their like we just release a device
We just do our thing.
and we make games for the device and sell games for the device, and that's just what we do, right? PlayStation is like 6 years behind Xbox with what they're trying to do.
Their games are not very sustainable at this point in time.
No, and we learned even more about that and
As
why
we
they're
learned.
trying to do a lot of
It
different
takes
things.
$400 million to make a fucking Spider-Man game.
Yeah, first off, Marvel, based on the movies they're releasing, no, this is speaking from a Marvel fan, right? Just saying, based on the movies they are releasing lately, 250 million, bro. Nah, not 200. They need to lower that licensing fee a little bit, just a little bit, at least like 90 million, something like that. They are like paying a lot up front. I mean, I don't think it's worth it to pay that much just for licensing Spider-Man. Like I would just make like Spooderman at that point. Or Arachnid
Yeah, they made
Man.
that. It was an indie app. You could play it on Xbox.
Oh, I would make Arachnid Man at that point. And just like, goodness, that just it just shows like first off, what was interesting about all those documents that a lot of the media doesn't want to talk about because it really does paint a bad picture about Sony in general, their financials and stuff. Like that to me is the interesting bit of that whole document, like the licensing fee of how much it costs to make a video game. That to me, that stuff is interesting to me. And for one, they are barely making money off of a game like Spider-Man. And their pricing for making a game like Spider-Man is, it doesn't make any sense to me. After playing Spider-Man 2, like, why is Spider-Man 2 that much money? It's very similar to the
There's
first
two of them.
Spider-Man.
So they got to do double the
But-
work. 'cause there's
But
two
we,
of them.
and also in later, yeah, now there's
Licensing
two
fee?
Spider-Man. The licensing fee is a lot, and then you chalk it up to also in the next Spider-Man. They're thinking about splitting it into different parts. To me, I just read that as Miles Morales and Spider-Man 1. Like what they already did, to me, that was split because it was basically the same game to me. But I personally think Miles Morales was the best Spider-Man so far. That's just my opinion. In terms of the game, in terms of the story and stuff like that. Because Spider-Man 1 had the annoying like MJ missions and stuff like that. They upped it way more in Spider-Man 2 where her taser
God,
gun
I'm
was
never playing
way
that game.
stronger. They upped it like crazy in Spider-Man 2. I have a lot of problems with Spider-Man 2, but I'm still waiting for you guys to play it so I could spoil it a little bit. But in terms of the financials of where Sony is and where Microsoft is, Microsoft, they are smart. That's also why I'm kind of trying to sit back and see where this is going necessarily. I don't agree with it. If I was running Xbox and Microsoft, I would be Darth Phil. I say this all the time. I would be like, Sony, you come to me, come in my chamber, and then like bow and kiss my feet. You want Call of Duty? I'll think about it. Like, leave my chambers. That's how I would run Xbox. Like, especially if how Sony was going around to regulatory bodies and saying like, we don't want this deal to happen, and they were talking to all these different people, and then they're suing at Microsoft right now, doing all this different stuff just so you could put games on the platform that is trying to basically ruin your business. And something Phil Spencer even said, and I did want to bring it up if I can find it. Shoot, I don't know where it is, but he basically was saying that Sony is using their financials to basically take Xbox out of business, right? So in all those things in mind, I know if I was the Xbox executive, I know I can't take that stuff personally because it's a business, right? It's a $1 trillion business, which is why I'm not a businessman, because I would definitely be the pettiest person in the world, and Sony's not getting any of my games. That's how I would do it, which is why I'm not a businessman. So props to Phil. Giving these potentially giving
like that's
games to other platforms
it's
and
not
stuff,
necessarily like
couldn't be me.
a bad business model. It's just a different one.
It's
you know
not.
what I mean?
It's
Like,
not.
it's like
it-
PlayStation literally does that, Nintendo does it too. So it's like that's a proven model. The thing is, Xbox tried it, didn't work for them.
Yeah,
Right.
and eventually,
Like-
when Xbox owns everything, your competitor, PlayStation, will just be paying you.
Right.
So
Yeah,
that's-
and it's
that's-
smart because they are sort of infiltrating the markets that has been blocking them for so long,
Yeah.
right? Like by having Call of Duty on the PlayStation, and they're basically one of Sony's best-selling games. They are now, in a way, infiltrating Sony, and you know
So-
they're
Sony's
playing the game
funding
very smart.
More first-party Xbox games.
Yeah,
I mean,
Yeah.
they really are. Bald Alpha Wolfpack with a $5 says 3-bit. What did you think of Brian Intihar telling Ted Price Spider-Man 2 didn't reach quality despite being funded well over $250 million?
I don't remember him saying that. Who's Brian? Who is that? I know Ted Price. In the I don't even know how to say his name.
And Intihar? I don't know.
So what did you say? You
I-
said Intihar telling Ted Price Spider-Man 2 didn't reach quality despite being funded. For one, again, so I've been in game development.
he's the senior creative director at Insomniac.
Okay, so one and Ted Price, he's like the head of Insomniac.
The CEO or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. So who's the Brian? I thought you meant the Brian.
The Brian is the senior creative director at Insomniac.
Okay. So two Insomniac people
Yeah.
kind of talk to each other. For one, me being in game development and seeing how it all works, I feel like gives me an interesting perspective. But like Spider-Man 2, to me, I don't know why the budget was way more than the first one. Again, because you were thinking if you are building off of the assets, it has the same animations, it's the same city. In fact, some parts of the city look worse, in my opinion, because they expanded certain sections of it. So some of the detail in certain parts of the city is
Spider-Man
worse,
can
whatever. But
fly now. It costs $200 million.
he can fly now. Apparently, that is worthy of crazy dev costs. Like to me,
it wasn't
there's
just about
something weird
Spider-Man. It's
there.
about making Angel for X-Men.
It's just weird. The budget doesn't match what the game is. I agree with Ted Price and whatever they were talking about because it doesn't match. If you're making a sequel, you have those assets. I am clearly seeing you are using those assets. Like you're clearly using the animation. You would think if you're taking those assets from the first game and you're putting it into a second game, you can kind of just build upon what's there. You can do yada yada. How is it more than the first one? Like that to me, I don't know. It's a little crazy, and it's a game I beat quicker than the first game. I had way more bugs in Spider-Man 2 than I did any other Spider-Man. I was like, in every boss battle, I pretty much was like stuck in the floor. I went out of bounds and stuff. Something the media doesn't
You were
even
just trying to
ever
break the
talk
game.
about. That's
Yeah,
what
essentially.
people actually said that in my Twitter. I was like, guys, is this normal for you guys? I had so many bugs. Like at first, I didn't share any bugs with anybody in Spider-Man 2. I was just like, okay, maybe this is just like, there's a few bugs here and there. But then I just started getting it like almost every boss. Like, what the heck?
Everybody
going on?
did though. Even the people that were like, "Oh, what you people are reacting, talking about these bugs and stuff," and like,
I guess they're all Australian.
Then
I'm
all
like,
yeah.
bro. That was
Crikey,
insane to me.
why do people keep talking about these bugs here on
Have
Spider-Man
you seen
2?
these bugs in Australia? We got bugs down here, mate.
We got tarantulas the size of your face here in old Australia. Are we talking about
Sean
Spider-Man
Layden.
2 bugs? But like at the end of the day, then everybody was like, "Oh yeah, I guess there are bugs because I just got some." Right? At the end of the day, also it doesn't really fucking matter. It's just like some bugs in the game.
I know,
what
but
was funny is like
it was
the
annoying.
Ultra Defense Force about it compared to other
Yeah.
games where everybody's like freely okay to talk about bugs in games. Like, oh hey, this game's got bugs. If you said Spider-Man 2 had bugs, like, how dare you? This is a Sony first party game.
Yeah.
This did not happen. Okay? It's only one instance, and this motherfucker is trying to break the game. He did it on purpose. It's not real. This
People
motherfucker
actually
over
was
there
saying
is
that.
not real. This is
This
fake.
dude,
Fake
I
news.
completely forgot about this, Mav. A guy was so stringent upon that I was intentionally breaking the game. He was saying, like, I looked for this specific area to break the game. And I was like questioning his logic. I'm like, first off, like, why why would I even do that? And second off, like if the bug is there, it's still a bug. Like if I went in the city trying to look for this specific area, it's still a bug that they need to fix to begin with. So it's just weird that he was defending that, and it was weird that other people was retweeting like, yeah, this 3-bit was intentionally he found an area in Spider-Man 2 and he's intentionally trying to break the
He's not
that
even
was
trying to get
insane.
back in the level. He's not even trying
Look,
to get back in.
look,
Look,
he's-
why is he doing this? He's either the worst player I've ever seen play a game, or he's trying to do it on purpose.
He's like, why is he swinging like that? I'm like, I don't know. I was on the phone. I was eating a sandwich while I was playing. Like, I was doing stuff. But like, why is he swinging like that? Who cares? I got stuck in the freaking game like so many
Hey,
times.
you're
Dude.
eating and on the
So,
phone and swinging.
I was doing all of it. I was all.
Three-bits
I was
playing
doing all of it.
Spider-Man like this when he's fucking. It's like no wonder you broke the fucking game. How do you play
Because
it?
of the sandwich I was eating in
How
real
do you
life.
play it? Were you blowing into the controller?
Well, Jeff
Boom,
Keighley said it was
Spider-Man.
fine. I was just following what Jeff Keighley was telling me. Nah, it was crazy, but
Swing.
Sean Layden was on to something, huh? When he was saying is not the way this industry is headed. Where he was, what did he say? Something about sustainability, something like that. I think he was on to something. Because the budget for Spider-Man 2, and if you guys, I was gonna encourage you guys to look at the leaked documents, but I don't know. I guess you can. Sure, go look at the leaked documents if you guys want.
No,
Just
don't
don't look
cover
at
those.
people's-
You'd be breaking your morals.
All right, don't then what Jasper
Until the
said.
next Xbox.
Up to you. Yes, up to you whether you want to look for it or not. But to me, what it does is it paints a picture of where Sony is. Sony mentioned the Game Pass model in the slides, so I feel like not enough people are talking about. Like for PS Plus, they're like, "Wow, Game Pass model is a threat to our business." That's what they said in the slides. The Game Pass's model is a threat to our business. How can we do it with our current budget? And what they found out was like, we can't actually afford to do what Game Pass is doing, so we have to stick to the premium messaging of our consoles. It'd be like, well, we can't compete on the level that Xbox is competing, like what Mav was saying, all this stuff that like Microsoft is growing, right? We can't compete on that same level. So what we can do is just have that premium sort of model where people know PlayStation. It's like the Apple thing, right? Like, you go to Apple because you like the ecosystem, you like the premium phone.
Because you're brainwashed into believing that Apple's the best.
You brainwashed into believing you have the chat bubbles. People bully you if you don't have the green or whatever chat bubbles that iPhones have. It's that sort of thing. That it's a mixture of the premium. It's a mixture of the your friends. It's popular. It's the most popular platform, and they know that. So that's what they're planning on doing. But their budgeting for their games are way too big, and they are in a position right now where they are not in a very financially good state, in my opinion. Especially because their games that are these huge budgets, they aren't really recurring compared to like an Xbox game, like a Minecraft or Call of Duty, where you get money like from the same game over and over because people are returning to your game. You get a game like Spider-Man 2. I beat it in like a day. Right? I'm not going back to Spider-Man 2. I don't want to play Mary Jane shooting a taser is more powerful than Spider-Man. Again, I'm good. I experienced it. I love Spider-Man as a character. I'm good. You know? So that's something I agreed with is my last point. I agreed with the only thing I agree with Jim Ryan really about was his direction of taking games as a service games. He went a little too hard on it. But I agreed with that approach because he was seeing where Sony was. Like, wow, our games are costing $300 million and doing these crazy budgets. How can I make it so it's more at least recurring? People can come to my platform over and over.
He's
and
also
over.
forcing his studios to be creative and diversify their lineup instead of just doing third-party or third-person action dad simulator.
I agreed with him. The one thing I'm like, Jim Ryan, you know what? You were onto something there.
He's a piece of shit, but he's not such a bad guy after all.
You know what?
Right. He was on
Might
to
be on.
something. He just
Might be
sucked
on.
at it.
And then they're completely changing the games as a service. I'm like, well, Sony, I don't know where you're going. Like, good luck, I guess. Like, who knows where you're going at this point?
They
But
canceled their two best, potential options with factions and that Spider-Verse GTA Online kind of game. Those two.
oh, that would have been so sick.
I don't necessarily think it would have been like the end all be all like a Fortnite, but I think it would have been enough for them to recoup some of their costs. But I guess we'll never know.
Yeah.
Thanks, Bungie.
The one thing that's funny, like when we talk about like budgets and stuff, is like movies have as outrageous budgets too, right?
Yep.
And they don't make as much as the video games do. Like, and so like when a game is like a huge budget, and then it doesn't, because the games are also so damn expensive. They don't have to sell as much as we think they do to break even or turn a profit, but they don't want to just break even. They want to like sell a lot and to have a great return. So like these games that they put all that investment into, they're expecting that to be their, their revenue. They're expecting that to be like their profit and that to be the driver of their business and stuff. So sometimes when that it's devastating when you have one of those games that you have like a $300 million budget not sell.
And then you see the indie dev make a game in a cave with a box of scraps, and he sells a fucking 3 billion copies of it, like Among Us. It's like,
Right.
I'm a billionaire now, bitch.
Cool.
Yeah. But like, if a game that has that expectation from the company that they put all those years, all that money into, doesn't like become their cash cow, like that is like a huge L for them. You know what I mean? So like those games have immense pressure, and it'll be interesting to see how they keep doing. As of right now, I think they've been selling okay and stuff. And I mean, I know early on in this generation, like PlayStation games weren't selling as much as they had hoped. But it seems like these last couple of games are better. But
did you guys read, like, if for example, regardless, Sony has to pay Marvel
a huge amount of royalties.
A huge amount,
yeah.
even if the game doesn't come out. Did you guys see that part?
Mm-hmm.
So if that game doesn't come out, they still gotta pay $200 million. Like, hey, by 2020, whatever. X-Men money.
The hardware bundles are crazy.
Yeah.
That too, yeah,
insane.
They're
making a lot on the hardware bundles, bro.
This is interesting because we don't usually get to see those.
Before we get to tidbits, I wanted to still touch base on your question about Dev Direct, because like probably it might be next week, guys. Like, so expectations, like 3-bit, you kind of started it off, but like, what do you think will be there if we get an announcement next week? And it will also, I think they'll probably tell us ahead of time at least what to expect, because they did last time.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't tell us.
They kept a surprise, right? But like, I think they could do that again as well. The surprise will be Hi-Fi Rush coming to Switch. That'll be great. People will be so happy.
Yeah. Oh man. What will they do for the next one? I will say, I don't know if this is a leak or anything like that, but I will say on the first Dev Direct, when we were working on it, we had more games planned, and then we shortened it to like to more of a consistent one, like a smaller sort of watch.
Which I think
so. It's like 4, 5, 6 games.
It was 4, and then they had added a 5th. They added Hi-Fi Rush in there,
right? So that was a pretty good number. That show biased, but that show felt good. So I'm hoping they'll do that again and do like 6-ish games. If they are, I'm guessing Hellblade 2 will probably be in there with a date, I'm guessing. Maybe an announcement of like, here's the date for Hellblade 2, and here is also a link to more information. You know how Ninja Theory likes to do those developer sort of diaries, which I love. So we'll see if they end up doing that. But a date for Hellblade. Maybe some more news on Clockwork or something like that. That could be cool. we'll see. It did get rated in a few places. Well, we'll see if that means anything. Or sometimes I feel like things get rated and you never
Yeah,
see
it's
them.
the same thing happened today. Stuff got rated, but it turns out you can just edit that, so people started pulling down the
Yeah,
posts. So.
that's both. Like people who were sharing that, saying like, "Look, hi-fi, see, it's no, that's that's not enough." Then you'll see. Let's see what other game. Avowed maybe.
Yeah,
That to
their
me,
Twitter
bro. Just
profile
those
still
three.
says 2024 on it. So
Yeah. So that's supposed to come out this year. And then they updated their Twitter or whatever. It says coming 2024. So Avowed's supposed to be this year. I am super excited for that game. It's like for me, Hellblade is still the top for me. Like I'm gonna be playing that for sure. But Val's right under that for me. I'm getting more and more excited about it just because of who they are, Obsidian as a studio. People always underestimate Obsidian, and they shock people every single time. So,
They'd really
those are the only three I could think of. What do you guys think?
I think they're
will
going
be
to
there?
announce Grounded coming to PlayStation.
Oh,
Shut the
man.
fuck up!
Oh.
No, I think we're gonna get Indiana Jones.
Oh yeah, I forgot about Indy.
Last
Possibly.
Dev Direct, all the games for the first 6 months except Forza, and that's probably because it was an internal delay that they didn't tell us about.
Yeah. Probably Indiana Jones. They'll probably
Where's Contraband?
Supposedly,
Uh,
so I
Is
saw
that this year?
Yeah, there's someone in chat.
I think it was Nate Dogg in the chat earlier said that Colt had mentioned that Contraband was looking good and might come out this year or something. Did I read you right, Nate Dogg?
He said Mag said it on Cult Show tonight.
Mag said it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Could be another one for this year. Future multi-platform
Whatever-
first party game.
Yeah, whatever Double Fine's been working on.
Oh yeah,
Kiln.
Kiln.
Oh yeah,
game?
yeah.
Yeah,
I think Diablo 4 DLC expansion.
and Starfield
'Cause-
DLC.
I don't think you do 2 DLCs, maybe, but I say Diablo 4 because it's Blizzard and they want to kind of introduce that studio a little bit more. Since it's a dev direct, they're going to have that behind the scenes kind of talk with it a little bit. And it's supposed to come out in June. They had the ESO DLC last year. We've already seen kind of behind the scenes, so they probably hold off on ESO again. With Starfield, we had that hour-long direct, so we kind of already know what Starfield is, so you don't really need a direct on it. But
What we rumored was that the Hellblade, or not Hellblade, the Starfield DLC was supposed to be at, what's his name?
Game Awards.
Chiles. The Game Awards was supposed to be there, and then for some reason it got pulled. So that's why I'm leaning towards possibly it could get at this direct. If they do 6 games, it could be those 2 DLC, and they could do like and here's what's coming out for the future, and talk about.
Yeah, just those 3 that I mentioned is a very strong 2020.
Now, I don't know about Avowed, only because Avowed is one of those games that if it's not coming out before the June showcase, they probably will hold off. Show the new updated trailer, because again, the trailer that we got last year, that was an alpha build, so it wasn't, that's why possibly they muted the colors a little bit, or they touch on the whole co-op not being there because
I mean, do you hold off now when they can have 3 E3s now? Do you still hold off?
Well, that's the thing. It's like if you hold off Avowed for this one,
for like the June
showcase, you showed off and you have it, let it have its moment at there, and then have a another developer direct, kind of like what they did with or they just do what they did with Starfield and show off for that, because if Hellblade 2 is coming out first, we could have Hellblade announcement with a release date, and then Indiana Jones.
I think we're honestly thinking a little too big here. because if you just look at last year's, the only really big game was Forza. Like, I mean, Redfall was kind of that, but other than that, you had Hi-Fi, Minecraft, ESO DLC. So like, I'm thinking like Flight Sim, Hellblade, Diablo DLC, Kiln,
Hellblade,
and then something else.
Towerborn.
Towerborn, yeah.
And maybe Ara.
Or,
They
yeah,
need
something
to
like that. I think we're thinking a little
apologize.
too big, but
They need to
that's just
apologize
kind
to
of
me
my
for Redfall.
then we won't see Hellblade, and then we won't see Avowed this time around. If they do
Well,
go
Hellblade's your
Towerborn.
big game if it's coming out first half. Whatever your first half big game is, you'll see that here.
Yeah,
I feel like we'll see Hellblade. No,
possibly.
Avowed is further out than Hellblade. I would think.
And
Right?
then maybe they'll hold off Indiana Jones and do that for the June showcase.
I don't think. I think if we're lucky, Indy's like our holiday game, right? So in that case, the earliest we would see it would be at Summer Gaming Fest thing or whatever. But then I think probably even potentially even later, right? But like if we do, they have so many fucking games, right? So that's the hard part here. So I'm thinking Towerborn. I'm thinking Hellblade 2 if it's the big game for this first half, like you guys are saying. I agree with the Flight Sim thing. It's a good place to put it, right?
Yeah.
And I think it's probably a summer release as well.
And there's also a DLC coming out, I think next month. The Dune DLC comes out next month.
Yeah.
So then, like, supposedly later on, the 24 would be first half. Also.
I'm gonna throw in a Oblivion remaster, or the Fallout, and then they mentioned the Fallout 4 update as well, kind of together, right?
Yeah.
And then like a fifth surprise, which I don't know what it would be, right? Maybe that was where they talk about Contraband again or something.
Or Kiln,
or Kiln, and maybe Kiln's like a shadow drop or something. I don't fucking know.
Unless they have another small showcase in between this one and the June showcase, like in April, and they do, maybe they'll do the DLCs for Diablo 4, Starfield, and then a couple other games.
I'll throw a potential surprise would be a certain Affinity Halo thing.
Oh yeah,
that could
That'd be
very
sick.
well be.
But that's
June.
also third party, kind of.
That'd be a June.
But it's first
showcase.
Halo's first party.
Yeah, but it's a third party studio. So, like, I don't know.
Did they
Or
like,
is it Jasper?
They are
when they
third party now.
When they talk Halo, though, it's like they really
Maybe not.
like. I don't know. The Flight Sim's going to be there. That's a third party studio too.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
Like I always bring that up whenever this whole third party thing gets brought up because like it's Microsoft Flight Simulator. Nobody can argue with that. You know what I mean? So it's like the perfect one, or like if you want to say Killer Instinct, it's always made by third party developers.
We know
as
if Flight Sim has Paris Lily been spotted at a Sobo in the last 6 months.
Have you seen Paris Lily hanging around any random airport hangars with this old white guy? Right? If you've seen Paris Lily hanging out with this old white guy at any airport hangars, you know that there is something going down at the Dev Direct. 100%. I forget the guy's name. What's his name?
Who?
The Flight Sim guy.
I don't know.
He's
Wright
cool.
Brothers?
Yeah.
No, the Wright brothers.
I think it was like Christian or something like that.
So one of the original Wright brothers is there with Paris Lily at an airport hangar.
AI is a motherfucker.
Yeah, people can mention Project Mara, but
No.
if I was Ninja
No.
Theory,
Jorg
like I would
Newman.
put that.
Jorg. If you see Paris hanging out with Jorg at a random airport hangar, something's going down with the Dev Direct.
Yeah.
What do you
I don't
got?
think-
What do you got, Fuzz?
I don't think so.
Well, I could have sworn I remember seeing the thing about Benedict Fox in one of the Dev Directs last year, or maybe that was like a indie ID at Xbox thing. But I think Hellblade 2 is a definite. Towerborn, I think, is another definite. I think Flight Sim 2024 is a definite. I really want to put Stalker 2 in the mix as well. I think we get that possibly either shortly before or shortly after Hellblade. The Double Fine game might be a shadow drop, but I don't know. I'm trying to think if there's another shadow drop because it's weird how some of the social media sites or some of the social media accounts have been more active. Like Fable's been more active, Avowed's been more active. I think South of Midnight was more active, so I kind of want to think that South of Midnight might be that shadow drop. Just because we know it's been in development for a good amount of time and that Phil has talked about it for at least the past 4 or 5 years, so it's had what I would consider plenty of time. But I think something like South of Midnight gets the shadow drop, along with like your announcement date for Hellblade 2, Towerborn, Flight Sim 24, and Stalker 2. I think that's the first Dev Direct. That's a pretty strong one, I think.
I could see them doing Stalker 2, like they take a film crew to Ukraine and be like, this is how we developed a game in Ukraine, try to get you all emotional so you like support the game more stuff. Like I can see them doing it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Definitely getting that game.
Yeah, I'm gonna play it in Game Pass. You gonna buy it? You gonna buy it 3-bit? You said you're getting it. I don't know what that means because I think we're all have it in Game Pass. So I'm just putting you on the spot.
Yeah.
I was thinking about buying it, but I'm probably not. I'm probably just gonna play it in Game Pass.
There you go.
I'm probably gonna buy it because of mods. Like,
yeah.
If it's anything like the original Stalker, it's gonna live on.
Is it crossplay?
Well, it's a single player game.
Yeah, it's more of a single player. So it's
I mean not crossplay. Sorry, like you play on, you play on console. Can you also do you have the same copy on PC
app? I would assume so because I think it's one of the rules.
Yeah, like I'm pretty sure that will be cross progression, but if you buy it at Steam, probably not.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
The one thing you could do is find the save file and then transfer it or copy it.
Is that possible? In the like the INI or something, or whatever it's called?
Sometimes it is. I'm still having a hard time with Hades. I want my Xbox save over on my Steam account one, but for whatever reason, there is no save file that I can find for the Steam one right now.
Yeah, I shouldn't have beat Hogwarts on
it's not in that folder.
On a whole other account. I beat Hogwarts on a whole other account. That's not my account because I didn't think I would get that far, and then I beat. This is dumb. Yeah, I wish I could just transfer stuff, but I get it.
Well, guys, is it that time?
It is.
Is it time?
Yes,
have
it's time.
Tidbits. The first tidbits of the year.
Titty bits.
Let's.
You said there was one other game that wasn't on your list, Fuzzy.
Oh. Yeah.
Whoa, that's a.
I just know the 2 PC games. I know you guys were saying something about.
I don't know what the fuck that was. It's like,
I was like, what the fuck are you watching, Jasper?
It's not my recommendation. I don't know what the fuck that was.
What is it? What game is this?
Oh, this is Mamador Moonlit Farewell. Coming to PC this Thursday for $16.99. Pretty much just on Steam right now. Kind of a Metrovania.
I like
this. Yeah, this is sick. Oh.
Look at those floppy knockers.
With your Xbox DVR.
That logo's kind of trash. But the game looks good.
Momodora.
It's all kind of blurry.
So what was
Unless
that?
I'm looking at it
on Steam, you said, or only, or is it?
Yeah. Not as of yet. This is Crystal Story: Dawn of Dusk.
Okay.
I'm in a PC as well this Friday, January 12th. I believe it's going to be $19.99. They only have the wish list listing, no pricing as of yet, but it looks like a $19.99 type game. Or maybe a little bit less.
What platforms?
Just PC for right now.
Okay.
I will not be playing this.
Yeah. It's kind of
It looks interesting though. Props to the
no, this is bad.
I'm sure there's fans.
No, that needs some work.
Style.
That needs a lot of work. That side profile of like the pixels and stuff, like it looked completely different styles from the side view and the front view. He needs to work on that. Just
And
saying.
this last game is War Hospital. It's $40. You can pre-order for 30. If you pre-order, you get it for 35.
Oh, it's an ad. Sorry, I was like wondering what the hell that was. I was like, this doesn't look like War Hospital.
Of taking command of a frontline field hospital located in northern France during the Great War.
There are that looks interesting.
Like, is that was ever at a war hospital? This is the kind of war hospital I want to be at.
Like
a party.
An equally fierce battle is being fought behind the front. The battle to save lives. War Hospital focuses on the constant fight to save the wounded. Chemical warfare, bullets, shells, and finally mental trauma will all become a part of the struggle.
Yeah,
for
you have to
life
decide like who
on the
you're going to help or
battlefield.
whatever, and who you're going to send
The
back to the front
constant
line.
pressure
Stuff
of
like that.
time in the face of a shortage of resources and manpower will bring the morality of the greater good into question. Is the life of a single person worth
This
risking
game
the
is
entire
fucking
hospital's
depressing.
population for? How far will you go to keep the next patient
I
alive?
think this group made another game
Every
where
decision
it was
has
on a
both
train or
short
something
and
before.
long-term consequences.
War train.
Face them,
Something like
learn
that.
from your mistakes, and improve your hospital. Find a solution to
I don't know why,
every
but I was
problem.
watching a
Adapt
World War
on the
II
go to
documentary like a
maintain
couple days
morale
ago.
and prevent
Very,
the collapse
very
of the
close
front line, which
to the
constantly
aesthetics.
needs to be strengthened. New types of wounds require the use
Yeah, I've been
of
in a
newer
history
and
kick
newer
for the last
medical
like week. I've been watching a bunch of
technologies.
history crap.
New infrastructures,
Yeah.
or having to use
Try
more
to
drastic
save the
treatment
soldiers who
methods
have been
when you're
dying
dealing
for
with
your
the most
country before they
seriously
meet the
injured
grim
soldiers.
reality of war and
You
die
have the
before
fate
your
of many
hands.
lives
Can
in
you
your
save their
hands.
lives?
The
or
war
will you
hospital must
cause
carry
all
on at
soldiers
all
to die and
costs.
cause America to lose the war?
War Hospital 2023. I mean, it looks interesting.
The fate of the world is in your hands.
I will never play it, but it looks interesting. Now, if Mav plays it or something and he tells me it's decent, then I'll play it. You have to. I need like a test person that I know to play that game.
Yeah, you won't play that, but you'll pick up fucking Gollum.
Listen, man. I love Lord of the Rings. I had faith. My faith was misplaced very heavily.
The
It's
only,
good,
only
it's
thing
great.
more depressing than soldiers dying at war is Gollum.
Gollum was more depressing than freaking that war game. The game was so bad. Oh man, I wish I never bought that game.
You're a lonely little creature living in a cave, and you only care about a ring. That sounds like a pretty miserable life. I don't know. Well, everybody,
I approve.
that's still too good. It's a little scary. Everybody, this was FSP, and it was a lot of fun. We're doing a podcast again for the first time this year. I want to thank all the people in the chat. You guys are absolutely amazing. Thank you for being here and checking out the show with us and tolerating our shenanigans and stuff. But we do have more content coming your way. Tomorrow night we will have Fun Pop. We got a lot to catch up on there too, guys. A lot.
Yep, new show launches tonight too.
Yeah.
I think.
I know
What
Psycho
show?
wanted
What
to
show?
talk about
Echo.
Rebel Moon too,
Oh.
and we had so there's like What If, and there's Then some other news come out and all these other things too. So we got a lot to cover on Fun Pop tomorrow. And then later this week we'll have PM and the PM on Thursday with Pong and I, and then Friday night Xbox Ultimate Podcast. So full slate, everybody. But let's get everybody out of here. Fuzzy, thanks for being here, bro. Appreciate you, and tell everybody where they can find you and your million podcast.
No, thanks for having me. This was awesome. And even if we don't agree or we agree to disagree, this was all still all fun. And we'll see what the news brings as far as for this direct here soon. It, like I said before, it seems like every time before one of these news cycles, FUD keeps on popping up. But it is what it is. But glad to be here with you guys. For those that want to hear my rambles and rants on anything gaming related, just follow me on the app formerly known as Twitter at fuzzy_Belvedere. And you can also find me here on Xbox Ultimate, 10 p.m. this Friday, right here, this channel. See you there.
Right on, Fuzz. Appreciate you. 3-bit. Somebody in the chat, Heavy Core Project, said he's heard a rumor that you can only count to 8. So I have
saying it's all my fault.
I have confirmed that. Bruh. Tell everybody where they can find you, sir.
Thanks for the
8 words
awesome
or less.
show. This is. I can't do that.
I'm just kidding.
No, this was a great show. Everybody in the chat, you guys are having great conversations and everything. You guys are saying it's all my fault that Xbox is putting some games on the Switch and everything like that. I'm gonna definitely be giving Phil Spencer a noogie and seeing what's going on with Xbox. We'll see if the rumors are true and everything.
What you guys do behind the scenes is your own
Phil,
business.
Is it going? Is it going? No, I'm just kidding. There's a lot of cool stuff popping up. A lot of cool things in the works. I already told you guys about the commercial I'm working on this week. So be on the lookout for that. But a lot of cool stuff coming to my channel. So just be on the lookout. I know it's been some time, but a lot of cool things are on the horizon.
I
so
will
just
believe it when I see it. 3-bit. I'll be
I know.
I'm hoping
It's in the works.
We got to see it.
It's in the works. It's in the works.
You're still making that Mav video where he had to get back.
that's been canned.
Luis Jose was mentioning the whole 3-bit pony video earlier in the
that
chat.
was fun. I'm like,
he said it's on episode 32 of Xbox Ultimate Podcast is where we premiered it.
yeah, dang, that's a long time ago.
It's a very
That's
long
crazy.
time ago. Like we're like halfway to from 100. Like we're at 150
On Xbox Ultimate
something now. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's been like
that's
130
crazy.
episodes since then. And where's that retaliation video at? 3-bit.
I don't know, man. Maybe if you do another one, it'll give me more energy now.
Don't
if you do
if you actually
some sort
challenge me, it's gonna happen, right?
now the energy is kind of gone.
It'll
I
happen.
do kind of challenge you. If you do another video, I'll think about it.
You got to give me another random stupid story about yourself, and then I'll do it. Have you ever fallen off of any other animals?
That's one time I tried to ride a giraffe.
There is a story where you jumped on a frog when you were a kid.
You can't tell me.
This one time he was in Paris, France, just doing a photo shoot, and
it was a warthog. I mean, I didn't jump off the warthog, but that was kind of scary.
Like the animal or the vehicle? Because I've been in the vehicle.
I already know where I already know now.
You know that one.
I got enough ammunition.
We'll figure it out.
I got enough ammunition. We'll figure it out.
Okay.
I know what I'm gonna do.
Okay, we'll see.
We'll premiere.
All right, that's where you guys can check me out.
You see, you're not usually on Ultimate anymore though, so I got to premiere it like here.
You would have to probably premiere it here.
I'll send it to
Unless
Jasper
I
ahead of
pop up.
time so he can include it on tidbits.
So be like, bam. Yeah, but that's where you guys can find me on Twitter at i3bit. Blah blah blah. Next.
Right on, bro. Psychonauts, what about you, bro? Where can people find you?
yeah, thanks for coming out tonight. I know we hit some touchy subjects there for a bit, but at the end of the
They're
day,
so touchy. Everybody's so sensitive about this, man. It's like,
yeah, and
Yeah.
like
Including me.
Jasper said, I think he made a really good point, saying that Elder Scrolls Oblivion remake, because that kind of makes sense thinking about it now, because it's already been on PlayStation, but that would right there would be something that could easily happen. But again, thanks everyone for coming out tonight. You can find me Mondays here every 10 o'clock normally, but tonight we did a little bit early on FSP. Tomorrow 10 o'clock. I still right 10 tomorrow, or are you gonna...
yeah, I think it'll be at 10.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
I think it'll be at 10.
just follow Mav when he posts the link, or post what time the show is. That's when we're gonna go live tomorrow. Fun Pop. We got a lot to catch up. There was a lot that came out. So, and then an Xbox Ultimate on Friday. Make sure you check that one out. We have a lot of stuff that's possibly we might get before that show. So if they do have an announcement for the showcase next week, we might get it sometime this week. So it's great time to come to the show and hang out with us. And then find me social media with Psychonauts8. And yeah.
Yeah, right on, man. Thanks, Psycho. And Jasper, what about you, sir? Where can people find you?
Yo, check it out. Lord Jasper Twitter, Lord Master Jasper YouTube, all that fun stuff. And then it's Monday, Tuesday, and Friday right here on Fun Speculation channel, whatever fuck time he decides. Hit the notification bell so you know when that happens. And that's where I'm at. That's where I'll be. Check it out. Have fun.
Right on. Everybody, thank you so much for being here again. You all rock. I appreciate all the support. It was great being back here for 2024, and we'll see you later this week with more shows. And yeah, it's gonna be awesome times coming ahead this year. I know it's gonna be an amazing year for gaming and hanging out with you all. So have a good one. Peace out. Good night.
See you, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.